back again with another video, and like me and Dean said, we've started a new series for educational, inspirational things like that. And obviously, Dean's very good friends with Lee, so obviously Dean reached out to Lee. We've obviously got Lee Priest on. We're going to touch on a few topics to start with, and then we're just going to take it from there. So first of all, Lee, I really appreciate you taking the time out to obviously come on my channel with Dean. I know you're busy. I know you normally hit up other channels like RX and things like that. So respect where respect is due. Thank you. Obviously, I think we need to touch on, to start with, Luke Sando. Now, obviously, that's been, in the last 48 hours, a bit of a shock to the bodybuilding community. There was a lot of rumours, a lot of speculations. It's turned out in the end it was Luke's choice to end things his own way. And I think that it wouldn't be fair for us to do a podcast or sort of an interview without us touching on it as guys, not as bodybuilders or, influencers or anything, but just to get the word out there that it is bollocks that we can't, go and talk to someone, whether it's a friend, your mum, your dad, whoever it may be. So, I mean, me and Dean have done a lot of things on mental health these past few weeks on YouTube, and obviously Lee is very outspoken when it comes to anything, and I think with his following and his social media influence, it'd be perfect for Lee to give his opinion on something like this.
We got a perfect mix here, mate, because I'm really into health at the minute. So I'm all about health, and Lee's completely mental. So there's the mental and the health together. Let's get this started.
I'm offended by that. Yeah, but as you said, it is a shock. I guess I was actually just finished cardio because it's like 6:15 here in the morning on Sunday. So I was just started to watch 4 Hours podcast with James and I think another friend. Was it Ben on there? I'm not sure if it was Ben, his other friend. Yeah. I just started watching that. So I guess to the outside, people like us, it's a shock. But it seems like people close to him knew he had these sort of demons or whatever he was dealing with. So it's always a shock when you see someone like that, because when you see Luke, when he was on thing, he was always happy, go lucky, jokester type thing like I do. But then you see people, I guess through life, you see Robin Williams, look at him, there's another one. Always when you see him, you think there's the guy that's got everything. He's happy, making people laugh, down to earth. But yet when you have those moments by yourself, I think that's when it really gets to you. And I've had friends over the years when I lived in America where sometimes it's like, well, if I go back to me, for instance, when I was young, I don't want to talk about myself, but when I was young and I cut my wrist, it was one of those things where I wouldn't say, some people have this thing where things have happened in their life and it makes them depressed and it plays on their whole life. Mine was more of a situation that come up. So then when I sat there and thinking about it, and made me depressed, but the days leading up to it, I was fine. It wasn't until that 1 hour of me sitting there feeling sorry for myself, making it feel worse, playing in my head, going over and over, that I cut my wrist. And the only thing that woke me up was the knife was blunt. So when I put it back in to do it again, it stung and it sort of woke me up from it and stuff like that. So, sometimes people say when people go to commit suicide, they're selfish and that they don't think of other people. Well, I could tell you at that point, I wasn't thinking about my family. I wasn't thinking about how this is going to affect people. It was just one of those things where I had enough and I went to do it. So, but that was like an on-the-spot type of depression where you're getting, where some people, it seems like looking at other people, they've had it their whole life with this depression. It just plays on and plays on them. And I've had friends like that who would talk to me when they've been depressed, but then you'd see them again for a week and they'd be happy as anything. And then I remember one friend of mine, he was, like I said, he had those places, you'd go to dark places, you'd talk about it, and then he'd be fine. You think, okay, he's slowly getting better. But I think it's those times when, if you're around people, you can sometimes talk to them. But I think, I think they were saying even with Luke not being able to, when you're locked away with this lockdown, not being able to get to the gym, I think sometimes when you spend too much time with yourself, that's when all the thoughts start playing over in your head. And, I know when I was by myself at that point, it was almost like I was almost making myself more depressed and more whatever. So I'd go ahead and do it. It's like almost talking myself into it. So, so like I said, going back to one of my friends, he was like that. He'd be up and down, and then he was in a good place for a long time. We went out for dinner on a Sunday night, happy as anything, making plans. See you Monday at the gym tomorrow, and on Wednesday we'll go do this. So from the whole week he was happy. Sunday night had dinner, made plans. Monday morning killed himself. So you often wonder, like I said, from that point at dinner time that night, happy as anything, he's gone home. Whatever's happened, and he's gone to that dark place, and then it's just happened, and that night killed himself. So, you know, it's good to talk about. And I think men should, because I guess, I go back to the old days. It was like harden up, you know, shut up, be a man, toughen up, this sort of stuff. Stop being a girl, you know, man up and just take it. And I think that's the attitude a lot of people have. It's even trying to get a male to go to a doctor's, like, you know, you go when you're on death's door. It's like you're sick. Your wife will say, go see a doctor. I'm okay, you know. You try and do this macho image. So I think men should just talk about it more. It's like even you see women all the time. I used to always joke around about it because you see women when they see their girlfriends, they run up, they give their girlfriends a hug. How you going? And we look at them going, oh, look at them, they're weird. I said, you know, guys should just be more open and, you know, rather than be like, hey, go on, mate, you know, touchy. If you want to give your mate a hug, give him a hug, do whatever. You know, but, you know, this whole thing, oh, well, that's a bit gay, this is that. And I was like, who cares what people think? If you love your mate, give him a hug, tell him you love him or whatever. So I think men should just be more open with their feelings. It's not like a weakness or anything like that. You know, be open with your feelings and talk about how you feel and stuff like that. So I think, you know, things are slowly changing and I think people can talk about it. But the sad thing is, it's like I said, when people I've probably known 3 friends that have committed suicide, and pretty much when they're going to do it, it's like you said, it's always at those points you think, could you have done something or could you have been there? Because you can't be around them 24/7. And it's like I said, sometimes it's one of those things where you could have talked to them that day and you think, okay, they're okay, they've got it out of their system. But then who knows what happens when they get home and sit alone and they just go to that dark place and all the thoughts start coming up. And generally, like when I did it, it's just that split second, okay, I'm going to do it. Like I said, I wasn't thinking about it beforehand. And after that day, I've never thought about it since. But that's one of those things. And then I said, it's just a split second that, you know, changes your whole life. It kills you. And it's similar to, I've seen young kids where, you know, destroy their lives. They get into a fight with somebody and then all of a sudden pull a gun out, boom, you know, that split second of not thinking or just thinking the wrong thoughts and your whole life's changed, whether it's by committing murder, whereas, you know, people can plan murder and stuff, but sometimes it's just that split second crazy thought and you do something that your whole life's changed. It changes other people's lives. So yeah, I think we should talk about it more. And if you do have those feelings, talk about it. But sadly, it's like sometimes when people get to these places, you know, when they say it's selfish, but to them, like one of my friends, he always just, his whole idea in his head was that the world would be better off without him. I'd be like, well, you know, you got kids, you got a wife, you got this, yeah, but they'd be better off without me. No matter how much you talk to him, that was his whole mind frame, that him being dead, everyone would be better off without him. And slowly, in the end, he did kill himself. And he used to speak to people, so he would feel good, and you could make him see, okay, your kids are going to miss you. Then he'd be like, yeah, I got to be here for my kids and that. But then something, whatever I said in their past has traumatized him or whatever, he'll go back to that. No, they would be better off without me and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just one of those things. You always hope you can talk to people and make them feel better and stuff like that. But, you know, sometimes it just comes down to their thoughts. Sometimes it's people that have maybe a chemical imbalance in their mind and stuff like that, where some could need medication to even themselves out and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just really sad that when it happens, especially when it happens to, you know, people you sort of know, whether personally or just through podcasts or seeing them compete at contests and stuff like that. And then you do feel, like you said, you feel for his children and stuff like that. So yeah, and friends, and yeah, it is like sad when it does happen. But the thing that, you know, it's like anything in this sport, as soon as I heard it, I think Dave posted it, I always got really annoyed straight away because, you know, before people know shit, get these idiots online, steroids, another one dead, this sport's unhealthy. I'm just like, really? It's like, just shut up. You don't need to go there. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So with regards to obviously you saying that you've, in that split second that you had the sort of the thought to do it, you tried it, sort of failed. I mean, how old were you back then? I mean, we're talking like teens.
I was 19.
19, and was that just like some sort of stress? Was it relationship? Was it?
No, it's because it's when I was competing and doing the lightweights and stuff. Like I won the Mr. Australia 3 times, and I was always drug tested. Never took steroids. Got 2 drug tests before I went to the World Championships in Poland. Passed both the drug tests. Went over there. Did the drug test when I got to Poland on the Thursday. And then on the Thursday night, the World Congress at the IFBB thing has their meeting, and on a Friday they had their meeting. And if you come up positive, that's when they tell the athletes you've been positive, you can't compete. I knew I was be fine because I was still a lightweight competitor. To stay under 70-odd kilos, I wasn't using any gear. So I did the show, did the pre-judging. Everyone's like, oh, Lee, this is your year. You're going to win it. My judges got you first. I'm like, look, until I get the trophy, I'm not going to get excited. So got to the night show, was almost ready to go out and perform, and I got the come here. I'm like, what? you come up positive. I'm like, what? How could I be positive? It's like, I haven't used anything. Well, you have. And I can't even remember what drug it was. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Went back to the hotel room and I was sort of crying, called my mum up. I did look over the balcony at that time and I went, oh, maybe I should just jump, because I'm just thinking, I sort of know now if someone's ever been accused of murder, or, you know, when someone's just like said you're guilty and they're like, I'm innocent, we're like, oh, sure you are. Yeah, bullshit. And being a bodybuilder, if they say you're positive of steroids and you're like, but I haven't taken them, oh, fuck off. Yeah, you have. It's like, you're a bodybuilder, of course you have. But I had it. That's the main thing. And like, and I've always been honest, even at a young age, and my mum knew I hadn't. So push come to shove, I get home and they're like, my mum calls up the Australian Institute of Sport, which has one of the highest standards of drug testing. I've still got the paper somewhere that says I was negative because my grandmother kept it because she was just so outraged. And they called up the Australian Institute of Sport. My mum told him what happened. They said, well, we tested him twice before he left. He couldn't be. So they said, we can test him again. So my mum's like, great. I think at the time it was like $370 odd, something like that, to get the test done. But because I was a member of the IFBB, we had to get their permission. And they said, no, don't test me again. And the B sample went missing. So going through that thing of, you know, if I had one, I would have got my pro card, but it wasn't the main thing. But then I was just living at the back of a gym in Brisbane and stuff like that. I was just sitting there and I was like, oh, this is not fun, living at the back of a gym. I was eating baked beans out of a tin. I'm thinking, this sucks. I might have had some slow, soppy music on, and I'm just getting myself worked up. This is suck. Even though I didn't really want to be pro, I'm thinking, but I could have had a pro card now. I could have been in America and this and that. And I'm like, fuck it, what have I got here? So, like I said, I was that fucking shitty living at the back of a gym. I used to clean homes at night and clean factories from like 10 at night to 2 in the morning. And then I'd clean homes and that during the day, as well as work at the gym and clean the gym. So I'm like, I didn't mind living in the gym. It was nice, but I think I just got to that frame of mind. Like, well, fuck, where's the knife? Where's the knife on it? That's it. And I had the music. I remember just putting on the worst song. I was pushing myself to that place of the real depression, then cut the rest. And I sort of looked down at it. It's like, okay, it's cut, it's bleeding, but it doesn't seem like it should be, you know, in the movies, blood. I'm thinking, well, this could take a long time to fucking bleed out at this rate. So I got the knife and I put it back in. As soon as I put the knife back in, I guess I must have been coming out of that, you know, where you're all psyched up to do something.
Yeah.
And it just fucking stung. I went, fuck. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not going to do that. Get on the phone. Yeah, Mum, I just cut my wrist. You better come get me. So, yeah, so that was it. That was.
Funny you should say about like the music though. Dean mentioned this the other day when we did the podcast on mental health. And ironically, like I was in the situation probably Luke was a couple of days ago, a few weeks back. So I've been like speaking to a counsellor and stuff since. So I did a video about my mental health on the channel just a few days ago, obviously before Luke passed. And one of the issues was, like you say, you put the shit music on, the sad music, and you sort of you're taking yourself on this weird little journey that you don't need to be doing. But it's like I don't know what it is. It's like you want to be sad, so you proactively sort of put yourself in these fucked up states of mind. And like you say, you knew at the time, you put some sad, slow song. It's normally some soppy love song or something weird.
Oh,
yeah. Everyone uses to get to that dark place.
But it's true. It's almost like you're going to that place where you know you shouldn't be going. It's almost like if you're training and you're going to do a heavy set or something, you know, you get yourself in that frame of mind. Some people use music for that. And you're really getting psyched up. You're getting psyched up to get yourself amped up to do this set. But when it came to the other side of the suicide, it was almost like you're taking yourself down. You're trying to make yourself depressed. What can I find to make myself depressed? I put on this love song that might take you back to a time you broke up with a girlfriend. And so you're trying to almost get yourself at a level where, you know what, this is easy. I can do this. Or you start just, you know, thinking of things that just make you sad, or a grandparent or someone passing away. It's like I said, where one side in bodybuilding, you get yourself amped up, you're almost pushing yourself. So it almost just makes it easy to do it because you're like, you know what, I'm that depressed, fuck it, got nothing to live for, I'm sad. It's almost like it just comes natural then to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, Dean, you made some good points last time, so I don't know if you want to reiterate those about your sort of physiology and about, you know, getting up and about and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, the body and the mind is connected to each other. So whatever your mental state you're in, you'll find that your physiology is doing a certain thing. So you see when people are down or depressed, you can see in their body the way they're sat, they'd be slumped and shallow breathing, head down, eyes down. And like saying, the sad music will kind of put you into that position. You just feel slumped and shitty and get more into that state. So if you can recognize the state, but first, like some people, they want to be in that state. They're feeling sorry for themselves. But if you've had enough's enough, I don't want to have a shitty life. I don't want to be down, sad, or depressed anymore. Then you can realize what your body's doing, change your physiology, then your mindset will follow. So like just getting up, getting moving. This is why a lot of people, when they're active in the gym, they're training, any kind of fitness, they're moving, their blood's pumping, they're in a positive physiology. So this releasing endorphins and making them feel good. You never know. You never seen somebody in the middle of a training session go and commit suicide because he's down or pissed off. It's when they're on their own, sat in that depressive state, thinking over shit. They're not moving much, playing the music. And like Lee says, in that moment, things get so bad in your head. All it takes is that one moment, don't it? So you have to be aware of what your body's doing with your physiology. Yeah, take that.
Yeah, I'll cut that bit out. So obviously moving from the Luke Sando situation, obviously it's a really shit situation. Obviously, you know, everybody's helped share, spread the word with the GoFundMe. I think it's like well over £100,000 now, which is absolutely brilliant. Considering that, I mean, everybody like probably thinks the bodybuilding community is massive, but it's such a niche sport. The community part of it, I'd say that very loosely because I think the community aspect of it is, it's not like, you know, football where you've got, you know, hundreds of thousands of fans for one, like, you know, Real Madrid. And they do sometimes come together and, you know, whether it's to fuck a city or to promote a charity or whatever. But off the back of that, you know, seeing, you know, the target was 50K, they upped it to 100K. I think that's been absolutely brilliant. It's shown how much everybody did love Luke, not just as a bodybuilder, like you said, because I rang you as soon as I found out. I spoke to Dean. You know, he was a lovable guy, genuinely was, and it wasn't a case of like people just saying shit after the fact, because you normally get that at most funerals. Like, oh, he was really nice, this, that, and the other, and you're thinking, no, he was a bit of a dick, to be honest. But Luke was a lovely guy, and one of the comments I think might be poetic to sign off on the Luke Sando conversation was, I saw a comment on the GoFundMe page, and it said, for somebody that was in such a dark place, he would always try and make people laugh. And I read that and I thought, out of everything I've seen, I thought that was perfect. It sort of summed him up towards the end. And I know from what he's been dealing with, it's been stemming from like pre-bodybuilding and stuff. So I don't know if you guys have got anything else you want to add with regards to mental health, any sort of links you want to throw out there, or just, you know.
I think just in Australia they have like the main one here is like Beyond Blue or something like that, where they for mental health and stuff like that. But then sometimes I've heard people have caught up that line, and some of the people that get on there aren't too qualified. So sometimes it's, you know, some of these lines where you call people up, sometimes I often wonder who they have actually working on the other end. So sometimes, you know, they might be good to call in those moments if you can't get hold of a friend, but sometimes I think just having a good friend or even a family member you can open up to sometimes is the best thing. Or, you know, as Dean said, if you can recognize it early enough and change your thought process and get out the house or do something, that can help too. But you know, it's just hard. It's one of those things that you never know. And like I said, you can talk to people, but you know, if people are in that place where they're going to do something, sometimes it's no matter what you do, it's like, you know, you'll get the ones where they've thought it out, they've got it all planned out. They're the ones that will write the whole note, you know, I'm finishing life, leave a note for the family. Then you get the ones where, like I said, it's just that spare of the moment thing. And sometimes you'll know it because they've been depressed. You can sort of see it was coming. Then you just get the ones where it's just a shock out of the blue. It's just those in that little space like I did where no one would have seen it coming at all. If I had done it, it would have been like, fuck, why did Lee kill himself? You know, so it would have been just one of those things where it happens out of the blue. So it's, as I said, there's all different stages people go through and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just, you know, it is good the bodybuilding community come together, like you said, but I still think with all the people out there, it's like I think Fowd was saying, if everyone just gave $1, if you had 300,000 followers, if everyone just gave $1, I've seen some charities that get millions of dollars for shit things and stuff like that. When you're talking about someone that's given so much to the body community, he's got children and stuff like that. Yes, 100,000 is great, but I think people could have maybe dug a little bit deeper. Now, that's not a knock on everyone, but it's just like, if you've got 300,000 followers and this and that, but I don't know if Dean's the same, but we have a lot of great fans in the bodybuilding community, and we have a lot of cheap fans too that, well, they want stuff for free. I'm not donating $5 to that. Oh, how much is that bottle of Deca? $1.50. Here you go. Thank you.
That sums up bodybuilders altogether.
Some are very selfish. They think about themselves. Yeah, it's okay. They'll be like, yeah, that's sad. You're going to donate? No, I don't have the money to donate. Yeah, give me 2 bottles of test, 6 IUs of growth. Yeah, I'll buy that. It's like, come on. It's like, even if you just went, I say that sometimes before, even when I did one for the Koala Foundation, people are like, oh, I don't have any money. I'm like, well, sometimes people spend $4 on a cup of coffee every day. It's like, if you have a couple of cups of coffee, go without 1 cup of coffee. If you had a couple of 100,000 people all given £4 for the price of a cup of coffee, then that's going to add up to a ton of money. But people just don't think like that. Sometimes they get into that, that's not going to be much. Or even sometimes people might be embarrassed. They think, well, £1 or £2, that's a bit embarrassing. But you can donate it anonymously. And like I said, if 300,000 people just donated £1 or £2, there's $300,000, $600,000. So it does add up.
That's a fair point. And back to obviously just briefly on the charity thing. Some of them you don't actually have to call. There was one I spoke to a few weeks ago that was all on text. So you could literally just text them. So I know a lot of guys find it difficult to actually speak out loud. So I'm just putting this out there. There are services. I don't know what it's like in Australia. I will find some links and put them in the description.
We do have the texting ones here too, where you can do it like as you said, because some people find it hard to speak. Yeah. I think even this day and age now, even friends. I have friends that text me and they keep going back and forth. I'm like, mate, just fucking call me rather than text back and forth. It was so much easier to talk, but for some reason now people rather text. But yeah, I'm just scared if I went to one of those mental health text one, after like 30 minutes on text, they'll probably hang up once I send them a dick pic.
Fucking hell.
Do you work for this mental health company, Liam? People ring you up and like 5 minutes later they just commit suicide to get off the phone.
Probably. That's the thing. See, I'd contact them for mental health, and by the time I'm finished, the person on the other end will be like,
they're on the helpline straight away.
They'll be like, my life isn't as bad as his. I'm good. Thanks. Oh my. Can you imagine Lee on it?
He'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, just fucking do it. World would be a better place. Go on, off you go.
Can you imagine
Mel Gibson?
He'll set one up, won't he? Another little business, mental hamster line.
and I'll be on the other. I'm on the other end. Hello.
Oh, God help everyone.
It'd be like Mel Gibson on Lethal Weapon when that guy was on the building. You want to jump? Okay, let's jump.
Let's do it together.
Let's do it together.
I've always said that sometimes if someone's standing on the edge and they're contemplating suicide, I've always said it. Sometimes all they need is a little push.
Lee'll be like, just make sure your blade's sharp because I've failed that before.
Look, don't be like me. Don't be a fucking loser like me. I didn't fucking do it properly. So. I recommend Will Sheed, the bone cutting fillet knife is very good. Stay sharp. That way, once you've used it, if you've used it, and your family's actually pressed after you're gone, they can all use the same blade.
And so you got the serious stuff out the way. That's it now. Lee's started.
If you buy one steak knife, we'll throw in another one for your friends and family.
Oh my days!
You don't know what you got yourself into with this podcast, do you?
I know. I do. I watch him on RX all the time. So obviously, we're gonna have to skip over it as quickly as you want. Generation Iron, Greg Doucette, Are You a Bully? Obviously, me and Dean did our little thing on it. And obviously, I was watching your RX one the other day when you were calling it, what was it? Vlad the Impaler, Vlad the Dracula.
It's like, I was going to do I shouldn't tell you, but I was going to go buy one of those count, the count from Sesame Street. I was going to buy one of those puppets and have just Rachel work its mouth and pretend I'm being interviewed by Vlad. It's like, but then I figured, you know what? That costs like $16.99 for the puppet. I'm just going to set 2 chairs up out the back. Me in one chair, Rachel can film it, and in the other chair, I'm just going to have a brick, got the same fucking personality as Vlad, and just have the brick. Now, Lee, what do you think of such and such? Well, Vlad, that's very nice. It's like him doing his own interviews is like fucking, oh my God. And where did he get the Backstreet Boy clothing from that he fucking wears in those interviews? It's like a cross between Michael Jackson in Thriller and Backstreet Boys. I'm not sure what's going on.
I saw him. He was interviewing, the White House chef, massive, huge arms. He sat there. First question number 1: do you train arms? And I'm thinking, Vlad, you fucking moron! Like, clearly he trains arms more than he trains any other body part. But that's his topic of conversation. How do you find training? And they're just so monotonous, pointless, shitty sort of questions.
But the thing I don't like about Generation Iron 2, I did say it in the beginning, I do believe they could have went in the right direction and made a good channel and made a good, whatever it is for the sport. But now everything they put on is like asking about steroids. They have on Ortiz and they're asking him about steroids in the sport. They have somebody else on, George Farah. Is bodybuilding healthy? Is this, is that? It's like everything's just almost negative towards bodybuilding. It's almost like Vlad to me is like, I said it before, he's like one of those movie critics. It's like a movie critic to me is like a failed actor. I want to be an actor, so they try everything in life to be an actor. They can't be an actor, so you know what? I'm just going to become a critic and put down great actors. So Vlad's probably wanted to be a bodybuilder, couldn't do it. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to rubbish the sport. And he tries to do it in a nice, slight, subtle way, but it's just fucking, you can just see it. It's like the whole, once those Tony Hughes documentaries come out, that was just like, oh, fucking hell. Did you see both of them, did you?
No, did I? I had him on the channel. I interviewed him about it. I didn't watch.
I watched that second one. And it's just like, it's almost like a jerk circle, but instead you got Tony, the girl, and another guy. And Tony's injecting the girl. The girl's injecting the other guy. The other guy's injecting Tony. They're in this little circle injecting each other. Then they go out to restaurants, and he's like, well, why can't I take my drugs in a restaurant? People take insulin if they're a diabetic. Well, I'm growing. So now they're loading up their syringes and taking their shots in at a fucking sushi restaurant and shit. I'm just like, and then it's got him throwing up, doing other stuff. I'm like, to me, it's like, that's not bodybuilding. And they get all these followers, and I'm thinking, these young kids think this is bodybuilding. Yes, drugs are used in bodybuilding, not to the extent like that, because this guy's just a fucking moron. And it's the same with, like, when I get abused by Greg's fans, my God, the age range is 18 to 21. Again, looks like I'm being abused by that fucking, what's that Asian group out at the moment? Those little fucking singers. There's like the big hit. Looks like I'm being abused by them. How dare you go on about our Greg, this and that. Greg put you in your place. You're dumb. He's smart. I'm like, okay, whatever. I was like, yeah, carry on. And then the thing was, I never knew who he was. And then that's the thing I like about Greg. Greg goes, Lee doesn't even know who I am. How can he know this stuff? Coach Greg. It's like, oh, fucking hell. That's like, Greg, yes, I didn't know who you were. And that's the thing. Once someone brings you up, I go, okay, who is he? I go online, I Google, I watch a few things here. I see where you got caught for drugs. I see where you went on your cycling, like cycling, and you got banned for 8 years because you got caught for drugs. For a guy that's smart, you get busted selling them, you get busted in drug tests. You're not too smart. He goes, he brings up, I don't know who, he shows the clip, I don't know who Greg is. Then how can you speak about me? Because there's a thing called the internet. If I'm a fucking reporter for Channel 9 News and someone brings up, see this guy here, he just killed someone, they go fucking do a little bit of research, and in fucking 10 hours, you can learn a lot about fucking someone these days. So, and then I don't want to mention names, but I've probably got 5 pro bodybuilders send me messages about Coach Greg and what he's done over the years and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy to learn. He might think he's loved, but he's got a lot of haters too out there that were sending me tons of info if I wanted to really go to town. But so I figured, let me just watch one, because someone said about he went off at Seth. So I watched the Seth one. He's gone off at a few people. Like, did you see the Seth? It's like Seth, me, and these other people. All you have to do is change the name, but it's the same spiel, the same fucking speech about this and that and that. You just change the person's name. Instead of Seth Feroce, now it's Lee Priest and this and that. Talking about himself in the third. You know, he does it for views and does it for likes and shit like that. But his followers, I tell you, out of all the abuse I took from, I got probably a couple of hundred of them. I guarantee every one of them. That's why I did that little collage. I put up a couple of them on my Instagram. And I'm just like, not one of them looks like they've ever stepped foot in a fucking gym. I look like 90% of them look like they come from the gay rub and tug parlor. You know, there's nothing wrong with gay rub and tug parlors, but that's where it looks like they came from. And I'm like, and then he's like, and then he goes on about that lift of mine. He says at this age he lifted 525 at this body weight. That would be a world record. Well, maybe back then it was, but I've never lied about my lifts. If I'm going to say I did 525, I could have just said 500, rounded it off, but it was 525. I got no reason to lie. And that was the thing back then. I was pressing at 18. I was doing 4 plates press behind the neck. There's videos of me squatting 6 plates at age 17 and stuff like that. And people used to always say, Lee, you should do powerlifting. And that was the running joke, because when I was 18, 19, 17, dieting for shows, I hated dieting. There used to be a running joke, fuck, I should have done powerlifting. I wouldn't have to do this dieting and stuff. So that's like, it's to Greg had that mentality, but that would have been a world record. Why didn't you do powerlifting? Why do bodybuilding? Because I didn't have the passion for powerlifting. If I don't want to do that, I'm not going to do it. My passion at the time was bodybuilding. So, and then it's like people go, yeah, he never done it. He never done it. That's like saying, if someone said to you, well, this 13-year-old kid just won bodybuilding shows. At 14, I was beating grown men. At 17, I placed second in my class at the Universe. People are like, well, no one's ever done that before. No, they haven't, but I did. So, Greg, just because you can't do something doesn't mean other people can't fucking do it. There are people out there that do excel at other things. And it's just like his whole mentality is, well, that would have been a record. But this is the world record back then. So you're saying you could have had the world record? Well, maybe I could have. Maybe there's some guy benching on a farm somewhere we've never heard of that's beating the world record. I've seen guys who, when I used to go around America out in the middle of nowhere, never lifted a weight in their life, worked on farms, just living bales of hay and shit. Their arms are like 24 inches. So, there's people out there that probably do tons of things we don't know about just because it's not documented and recorded. Yeah. So it's like this whole thing's a lie. Now I get tons of messages, why are you fucking lying about the weights you lift? And I go, oh, fucking hell. It's like, whatever.
I think Greg's a fucking idiot. I'll say it out loud. I think he's a fucking idiot. Like you say, it's all clickbait shit. He uses other people's names. He uses other people's names to get fucking, views coming in, shitty thumbnails. And like you say, as soon as I've watched probably 2, not even all the way through. And when he starts and he's like, yeah, and he's doing all that shit that he does, I think, fuck off. I'm not even interested.
And he's got the little string tank top on so he can flex his arms while he's doing this and then do his chest press. It's like, but this is what I like. Then people go, Lee, but why do you come down on him? He says nice things about you. They'll be like me going, oh, that Dean's got great genetics. He trains hard. Oh, he's so fucking dumb. He's fucking idiot. But he places well in his contest. He's much better than I can ever be. It's almost like he gives you that little compliment, then the backhand, the fucking slap. Yeah. It's like, but he says so much nice stuff about you. Oh, that Dean, he looked fantastic. Oh, he's fucking cunt though. Fucking, it's like, just pick one or the other. Don't ride the fence. Don't give me a compliment.
Yeah, but both of them was true. I'm a fucking cunt.
But then he goes on, like I said, then he kept on saying, so I think he said about Seth. Seth said I was a shitty bodybuilder. Look, just us talking about him now, he's going to make another video about this. Hopefully. Seth says I'm a shitty bodybuilder, but I got 4. I got 4, not 5th. If my mathematics is correct, 4th is better than 5th, so I must be an okay bodybuilder. I'm not the best bodybuilder, but 4th. Yeah, you got 4th out of a shit lineup, you fucking dickhead. You're the 4th shit come on stage. It wasn't like it was Phil Heath, Kai Green, fucking William Bonnick, and then you. It was just like other 4 free shit cunts, and then you. It's like it doesn't matter. The guy that comes fucking 10th looked almost just as shit as the guy that got 1st. So fuck off. It's like, and plus, they're giving out pro cards like they're he wouldn't have got a pro card back in the day. People like him, they just get, like you said, that's his fucking clickbait shit. If it was back in the 90s when I came up, you had a magazine. That was it. That's how you saw somebody. That's how you became known and shit. You got fans.
Yeah.
Greg Douchey, baby, back in the fucking 90s in a magazine, you would have just fucking turned the page and kept on fucking turning. That would have been the end of Greg. You wouldn't have had this fucking spiel online to get his fucking followers and shit like that.
Ego.
People like him wouldn't have existed back then, but now we've got these internet fucking warriors and stuff, and he's so smart on this.
People think because they've got a following behind them that they're relevant or they're important. He's sort of entitled himself as the voice of bodybuilding, so to speak, just because he's got, you know, a few 100,000. I mean, I've got, what, 260,000 on YouTube.
And people are like, oh, he's so smart. He's got, like, what is it, kinesiology or some degree or fucking whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I've had friends that can't read or write but can build fucking motor cars, can build homes. It's like, you know, practical shit. You know, those that do and those that can't teach. He's a fucking teacher. That's it. Fucking.
The thing is, give it 10 years time. When he looks back on his last 10 years, he's got to stand by that body of work he's just created. I bitched about Lee, I bitched about Seth, and what's he going to look like? Just a bitch at the end of it.
No, that's like I said. It's just, and then he just keeps on. But then he tries to, like I said, he tries to do it like so people follow him. He tries to do the old poor me. I know I'm not the best bodybuilder out there. I know I don't have the greatest genetics. So I was like, yeah, look at Greg. He's not talking himself up. You know, but, you know, when he gets off there, he's looking at himself in the mirror, fucking stroking his cock. Fuck yeah, Greg, you are the fucking best.
I think he was doing push-ups before he come on.
Oh, who knows? What? The way he does these stupid faces and fucking, it's like, really? It's like, oh my God. It's like, it's just clickbait. Now we've just given him more clickbait. He's going to put this on about us. But I just don't share it. I just don't share it anymore. It's like, I'll get more people abusing me. It's funny, though, because then on Instagram, I set my, you know, you can set your parameters now to age group that follows. Once I set it to, yeah, it's in the settings. I didn't even know you could do it, but it says if someone's got their true birth date on their profile, I set it to 21. Haven't heard from any more of his fans ever since. Oh, dear. Fucking hell, but that was funny. It's like, yeah, it's amusing, but yeah, I guess, like I said, it's his clickbait. It's his little spiel that he needs. And like I said, every one of his fans that abused me, you wouldn't even think they went to the gym. It's like, I think I was watching like a fucking remake of the Village People or something. It's fucking ridiculous.
So when are you in the future? Have you got any plans to come back to the UK to see Aaron, to see Dean? I mean, what's the future hold for Lee Priest at the minute?
At the moment, I hope to get back to the UK. Aaron would have to leave his little residence in Spain to return to the UK. You know, he's doing it so hard. I wish there was fucking winter time in Spain again, because I'm sick of seeing fucking videos of Aaron with his fucking shirt off. I'm like, oh fucking hell.
It's no fucks sight, is it? It's not very
no fucks given. It's like, oh, shut up and put a shirt on. Yeah, so I wish it was cold again, so he wouldn't fucking keep walking around without the shirt on. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'll probably be back over there sometime. I guess when all these lockdowns lifted and all that sort of stuff, and you can travel again. But yeah, either be in Spain or back in England. I know he's probably missing England, Aaron, even though he's acting like he's enjoying Spain.
Yeah.
He's in lockdown. I think they've released the lockdown now in Spain, so he's been out getting.
It's like Aaron always flaunting the law. You know, it's essential. You can go from here to there, and then Aaron's like, "Yes, I'm just going out the Lamborghini on an essential trip." It's like, oh yeah, just pushing it. Yes, it's essential. I'm taking the essential long way around. Give the car a drive.
Oh my days. So have you two, between you, got any story, like funny stories from when you were like training, or you know, these Dean's told me a couple of that, like these podcast things that went on.
Oh god, yeah. Don't ask Lee. It's just gonna get out of control, isn't it? Give us some inspiration first.
I've got those funny videos I showed Dean of when Aaron was trying to attack me, and I kept putting him in a chokehold, taking him to the. That's the funniest thing ever. It's like, how many times did he go at me? Like 5 times, and each time it ended up with him in a chokehold on the ground.
You was asking earlier, weren't you, if Lee's a bully? Well, you need to see those videos. All he done was beat fuck out of Aaron all day long. Slapping him around, choking him, belly punching.
Send it to you. But the same thing every time you go in and put his head down, so I just go and down.
We'll do that. Just put Greg's face on Aaron's.
But even the one where he tried to come up behind me and grab under my back, he just ended up going over my back on the floor and choked out again. And then I had to fucking slam his head into the ground and ass rape him. So it was like, you know.
I think he did that on purpose because he enjoyed it.
I know.
Like,
That's why he kept coming back, wasn't it?
he was pushing back.
He was actually. I thought that was a bit strange. Normally they try and get away.
Stop it! Stop
He just
it!
trips over on the floor and his ass is up in the air conveniently.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
No. So it's one of those things. There's so many funny stories. It's like it's hard to think of any offhand. But you know, whenever Dean's around, or I'm around, or Aaron's around, or Billy's there, there's always fun times. There's nothing's ever serious and stuff like that. Dean can probably tell you the time when he pretty much first met me and I ruined his career and it went downhill because he went for dinner with me. That sort of, I ruined his whole life.
That's all it took, didn't it? Did you ruin it or save it?
I saved you, Dean. I saved you.
I think you did, yeah.
I ruined your career, but I saved your life.
Yeah, I think you did.
You got a friend out of it, Dean.
I've never been so happy being away from competitive bodybuilding.
People probably don't know that story, so you should tell it. Rachel, because Rachel, before when she first met me, she'd hear about the politics in the sport and this and that, and she's like, I can't really believe that goes on. But then she goes, when we were in England there, and Dean told his story of what happened to him because he met you, he goes, I couldn't believe that shit goes on. I said, it does.
There's no politics in the sport, is there?
So what happened, Dean? Obviously, everyone want to know now what happened.
Okay, well, we've been over this many times, but we'll go on it briefly again. Basically, I was competing for 14 years, and 10 years in a row, winning the British Championship a fair few times. If you win the British, you get an invite back to the final. So I never had to qualify. So in their rules, if you win the British Championships 3 times, then basically you get a pro card. Yeah. They got a little get out clause that if you deserve it, you can apply for, and it's down to them whether you get a pro card. So I won it 3 times. Asked for the pro card and they denied it. They come up with some bullshit excuse. So I won it a 4th time, and again, this is unheard of now. Nobody's won 4 times and not got a pro card. So I won it for the 4th time, and they come up with another bullshit excuse. And then I was going to go for the 5th time, and one of the old judges for the UK BFF, he turned around and he says, "Dean, I don't know why you're even bothering." That was Warren,
Okay.
Warren from Emporium. And he's just like, I don't know why you're bothering. I know what Bill's like. Bill Turner's the guy who runs it.
Yeah.
Final decision. He says, I know what Bill's like. There's no way he's going to give you a pro card because you're good friends with Aaron and Lee and Simon, fan from the gym.
Yeah.
I was like, come on. It's a bit petty, isn't it? They can't deny me of a pro card just because I'm friends with people they don't like. So, because before that, Aaron had put on, what was it, Lee? It was some kind of promotion where he got you, he got Tom.
I came to Simon's gym. Yeah, I came to Simon's gym to do a seminar and that, yeah.
He was doing a tour around all of Britain,
I think even Simon, he'll tell you, he got a call from the Bill and that saying, do not have Lee Priest at your gym. If you have Lee Priest at your gym, you'll not be allowed to sponsor shows. And he said, well, Simon's like, well, fuck it, I don't care. He goes, I lose money on your fucking shows. And Lee Priest is coming here.
He just put the Grand Prix back on, and he lost like £250,000 on that show. Like he didn't do so much for the UK BFF promoting all the shows. And basically, he'd gone out of his way to ring up every single gym that they was doing this tour at, just to say, if you have Lee at your gym, he's a lifetime banned athlete, you can't have anything to do with UK BFF. So there is like threatening all these different gyms, saying basically, if you have Lee there, then you can't compete, you can't have anything, you can't even come to our shows. So obviously, it was last minute thing. Lee was on his way. There's tickets had sold out. People are waiting for him. And Bill rings Simon up saying basically, he's like, oh, I heard a little rumor that you haven't Lee Priest at the gym. Simon's like, well, yeah, but there's no rumor. It's been advertised all over the internet for the last few months. And he's like, oh, wow, you do know that Lee's a lifetime band member. Like, what's that got to do with anything? This is my gym, my business, and I've sold the tickets. I'm not going to turn people away. And he just basically said, well, if you have him there, then you can no longer have anything to do with UKBFF. So Simon said, okay, see you later. Fuck yeah. Lee came. It was a brilliant day, weren't it? And that's pretty much the first time I met you. And because of that time then, I'd always trained at Simon's gym and represented his gym, and good friends with Aaron, and meeting Lee, getting to know them all. They just kind of fucking blacklisted me from all the shows, and that, even if I was winning,
they weren't happy.
they'd mark
They
me
weren't
down.
happy, wasn't it? Wasn't it when we went for dinner after that, and that you put the photo up online of you at dinner with me? You got the phone call about remove that photo.
Basically, yeah. So that was when I was going for the fifth one, and that judge said, you got no chance. So I thought they're not going to be that petty, are they? So a lot of people are saying, like, you're not going to get the pro card because of this. Okay, let's put it to the test. Let's really see. So Lee was over, and we all went for some food, and we just got the waiter to take a picture, wasn't it? And then I posted it on the internet, bigging everybody up. There was me, there was my old training partner Randeep, there was Simon, there was Lee, there was Aaron, and I just said something nice about everyone. I was like, isn't it amazing when your childhood heroes like Lee become your friends? Like Simon, how much he's done for the industry. Randeep, how much of a nice guy he is. Even Aaron Rob Shite, who's a true loyal friend. And I posted that. 1 or 2 days later, I got this massive text, not directly from Bill's phone, but via somebody else to me, basically saying, how dare you post this on social media and associate yourself with these people, knowing that they're banned athletes and blah, blah, blah.
These people are the mafia or something.
You know what I mean? It's like,
what do you mean, these people? That racist
these people. Is
it because I'm black? That's son of a bitch.
Lee's life matters.
these short tape fucking face tattooed mobs. So basically, that was the point that it told me that they was never going to allow me to get a pro card unless I bow down to them and lick their asses, and this tongue doesn't go up assholes. So. So I sent a message back. I replied to it, and I just said, look, I've been a loyal athlete to the UK BFF for 14 years, 10 years in a row. I've won the British 4 times, and you still deny me of a pro card. I said, and I'll still be loyal to the UK BFF, the UK, can't even remember what they're called now. I'll still be loyal to the federation until the day that you tell me who the fuck I can and can't be friends with. And that's the day I walked away, and I washed my hands with it. Never compete with them or have anything to do with them again. That was that.
That's really the first day he met me. His bodybuilding career ended, and his life went to shit ever since.
You say that I've never been so happy and healthy in all my life.
And now you're on my. Oh, sorry about
that. Yeah. I'm like Dean's angel. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
You're saying
that's a scary thought.
Yeah, go for me. Get back in the industry.
Hey, Lucifer was a very good show on Netflix. I enjoyed it. Not all angels are white and fluffy, Dean. Some are a little bit dark.
That's a fallen angel.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that was the end of my bodybuilding career. And people say, why don't you go back now and you can do the 2 bros? And I'm not just as fucking corrupt. And I've got no interest in going back into a competitive world. I hated competing. I hated getting on stage. I love training. I love bodybuilding. I love getting into that condition, pushing yourself, and everything about bodybuilding apart from show day. I hated getting on stage.
I was the same. I hated competing, but it's like you had to do it for sponsors and stuff. I love going to the expos to meet the fans, but to me, training was the best thing. Just going to the gym, training, hanging out with your mates at the gym and stuff. Competing, I just said, the whole dieting thing, and then getting on stage to be judged by these fucking group of fucking buffoons sitting down there at the table who have, like I said, never trained a day in their life. And then the politics is involved. So to me, once it came contest day, people would be like, aren't you upset about your placing and this and that? People are like, oh, you're just upset you never won Olympia. It's like, I knew I'd never win the Olympia. I'm a fucking realist in this sport. My goal was to just go into a contest the best I can be. Whatever happened, happened. That's why a lot of my videos, when I'll be joking around and somebody will be talking to me while I'm doing a video, I'm like, quiet, please. I'm training for 8th place at the Mr. Olympia. People are like, Lee, how can you say that? Why would you be training for number 1? I'm like, because I know I'm not going to fucking win the show. I'm not going to be like one of these dickheads that sits at the press conference and goes, everybody's here. He's here to win the show. If you don't think you should win it, you shouldn't be here. I'm like, seriously? All you cunts here think you're going to win the fucking Olympia? Look around. If Phil Heath is sitting there or Dorian's sitting there, you think you're really going to fucking beat them? Okay, you might think it'd be nice to win it, but be a fucking realist. If you see Dorian, then you see Flex, then you see somebody else, you go, okay, first, second, third. Maybe I'm around 5th or 6th, you know. I got a good battle for there. But then everyone's sitting there going, if you don't think you should win it, you shouldn't be here. No, be a realist, dickhead. You're not going to beat half those guys. So my goal was every year, the top 10 back then. If you got in the top 10, it qualified you for next year. So I always just aimed to be in the top 10. So if the following year I didn't want to do any pro shows, that would be good because I'm already qualified for the Olympia. So if I set my mind on 10th, the year I got 8th, I'm like, fuck, that's 2 places up from what I thought I was going to get. So I was always happy. It didn't bother me whatsoever.
What was the best position, the highest you got at the Olympia?
5th, but then they changed it after the show. They moved it down to 6 and changed the placing when the show was over. But I got 6.
Because you're Lee Prince.
Exactly.
Tell that story briefly. One year you went into the Olympia as a complete natural for a whole year?
Yeah, I just didn't want to take gear, and that was actually, I think it was Jason Mathis at the time. I think it's Jason Mathis. He used to write for Muscle Mag, and we had this contest going that I could do it naturally and stuff. He's like, oh, bullshit, no, you can't. I said, yes, I can. They ended up doing it. Yeah, training. The only thing I found harder was maybe the conditioning being hard wasn't as hard. But then the main thing was mainly just recovery. Because I love doing cardio, I was doing still 2-3 hours of cardio a day. But I was just taking a lot more fucking aminos and all this sort of shit to try and make up for not taking any gear. So I was a little bit softer. And then it was just like the recovery was probably because I was training twice a day and still doing cardio. You know, if you're taking a bit of gear, you can recover quicker. So I just felt a lot more tired. But other than that, that's why I used to say to people, I said, you know what, I'd love if they drug tested the Olympia because the ones that still had the good genetics and the ones that love training were still do well at these shows. You know, you still separate the men from the boys if you get rid of all the drugs. So I used to always say, look, drug test the whole thing. I couldn't care less because I can go without it. It doesn't bother me. It's like,
what place did you come that year that you did it natural?
I think I was down 8th or 9th. Or
so you're like eighth best in the world being a natural for a whole year.
Yeah, but then it's like people like, oh, bullshit. You know, people aren't going to believe it. The only ones who knew it was me and Jason because we had the bet going. And I even said to him, I said, the only way to even do this was because I said, look, whatever I place, I'll do it natural and then get me drug tested. And if I'm drug tested, I come up positive, I'll give you the prize money. Simple as that. So we had the bet going, but he believed me. But it was one of those things where you tell other people, oh, bullshit, he's just lying. He'll still fucking using gear and shit. I'm like, no, because I actually wanted to see myself whether I could do it again. And like I said, body-wise, recovery, and that was probably the hardest thing. That's why I always hate now when I get emails or messages, Lee, now I need some advice on training and this, how should I train? I'm natural, by the way. I'm like, it doesn't matter whether you're natural on gear, just fucking train hard. My training when I was from 13 to 19, before I first touched gear, before I turned pro, I trained just as fucking hard when I was on gear. I didn't go, oh, well, I'm on gear now. I can ease up my training and fucking go light and not push myself. You train just as hard. I said, off-season, I found off-season on gear and off-season when I was natural on gear was exactly the same because I only trained once a day. I did have time to recover. When I was getting ready for a show, it was a little bit harder because, like I said, I'm doing 3 hours of cardio, training twice a day to recover is hard then. But if you're natural off gear in the off-season or on gear, there's no difference in how style of training and shit like that. It's just people just use that as an excuse. Well, I'm off gear right now, so I'm not really.
Yeah, they just get lazy. They stop training so hard. They stop eating, and then they get smaller because of their diet and their training.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've told the story before about this one guy at the gym as a young kid. He kept asking me about he wants to put size on. He wants to put size on, and he wanted to go on gear and kept hounding me and hounding me. I said, look, you don't need it. But this guy, when you look at him, he trained probably 3 times a week. His big meal would be like, you know, Subway. I had a foot-long Subway sandwich and this. And so he didn't really have consistent meals. He might one day had 3 meals, next day 2 meals, next day whatever. So he was very inconsistent. Friday to Sunday, one of those kids go out and party. So it's like, I want to go on gear. So I got sick of it. I said, okay, I'll get you some Dianabol. So I gave him these pills. I said, just take 1 or 2 a day. In the 4 weeks, I said, here's a training program. So now he's gone from 3 times a week. He's training 5 days a week. He's gone from eating meals here and there to eating at least 5, 6 meals a day. So in like almost 3 to 4 weeks, his body weight's gone up. Great. His strength's gone up. He can't believe, like, wow, I'm getting stronger. I'm looking better, blah, blah, blah. He goes, those tabs are really working. So I went up to the gym. I said, before you swallow them, I said, chew them. And he goes, fuck, they're sweet. I just gave him little sugar pills.
Yeah, it was the gear. It was the gear.
Yeah, but in his mind, he thought he was taking Dianabol. I said, the only thing that's changed here is your fucking eating and your consistency. This is just to prove that if you are consistent with your eating and training and shit, you can still do good and make results. That's why I hate young kids now when they go to a gym. Before they've even done any foundation work for at least 4 or 5 years, they're on gear from day one. It's like, you don't even know how far you could have gone naturally before you've used the gear. You want to try and go as far as you can.
Gear as well.
Yeah.
Huge stacks, and there's Trenbolone and there's Nat 50s, and there's all these combinations of really.
Well, I couldn't believe when I was in England, some of the young kids there range from some of the seminars I did with Aaron from 2 grams a test a week to 5 grams a test. I'm like, where the fuck do you put that amount of gear? And I've always told people the highest I ever went on test was 800, and I felt shit. I felt lethargic. My strength went down. I went back to around the 400 mark. If it was like Cypionate, if I use SUS 250, I take 2 mil a week, which is 500. That's if it's 250 per mil. So maybe it might have been, 450 a week I was taking. But yeah, I've always just used small amounts. Deca was like 200 to 300 mils a week. And people always be like, I'm more like 2 fucking bottles. I'm like, if I took 2 fucking bottles, I'll tell you I took 2 fucking bottles. I don't give a shit. It's like, I'm trying to tell you that you can make these gains. I used to talk to Tom Platts, and he'll tell me what he used back in the day, and Arnold and them. And they were just very small amounts of the basics, Deca, Dianabol, stuff like that. If I took Dianabol, I wouldn't take any more than 25 to 30 milligrams a day of Dianabol if it was the tablets. And people are like, well, how do you get big on that? Well, it's training, genetics, everything else. And I used to tell people, the ones that are taking 1,000 of this and this, and I said, come off everything completely for at least 4 or 5 months. And when you go back on, eat good, train hard, and use a small amount, I guarantee you'll make the same fucking gains as you are fucking abusing the shit, because you don't need that much. But they go online, well, such and such said this. I'm like, who the fuck are they?
They sort of act like there's calories in trend shit, don't they? It's like, like you say, taking a bottle of this and a gram of this and a meg. It's like there's no calories in it. So unless you've got your diet, like you say, your foundation. Mm-hmm. I personally are guilty of doing this. About nearly 4 years ago, I kept stacking and stacking and stacking, and then I was getting the shorter, quicker esters.
Oh, well, there you go. It proves my point. You can take all the drugs in the world and still look shit.
Oh, good looking.
Oh, wow. Did I just help your mental state there? You told me I look shit. Fuck them cunts when we get off here. Fuck them cunts.
He's got a noose in the background now. Oh my God.
My blades are sharp.
He's going to leave a note. I'm going to make that cunt feel guilty. I love everybody. This is Lee Priest's fault.
He was a fan of yours before this podcast, not anymore. Delete him, delete.
Cuts deeper when it's Lee.
Oh, is that a dig at me, is it? Is that a dig at me saying it cuts deeper? Thanks.
Going back to, because obviously you're very genetically gifted, but you took minimum gear. Your food was on point. I've heard a lot of people just saying, "Oh, yeah, it's just fucking gear, it's just genetics." Touch on a little bit of your training, how you used to train, because you've told me a few stories about your training, and
I used to go
what people think is hard is not even your warm up. You've told me something like 1,000 rep set on the legs.
That was like a bet I had. You had a bet with a guy at the gym. It was just like, we only started off with 2 plates a side. It's like, I bet you can't do 200 reps. I'm like, okay, I'll do 200 reps. And then ended up being roughly, the total weight was close to 500 pounds when we just put the other plates on. But yeah, just started going, I got the 200. His name was John Kaler. He's on Facebook, and that used to run the Max Muscle. And he'd just be like standing there going, bet you can't do 400 now. I'm like, okay, let's do 400. So I could just I wasn't allowed to lock it back on, so I couldn't take my feet off the plate. I could do repping and then just stop for maybe 10 seconds, get my breath and that. But sometimes stopping was worse, because once you stop and start again, it's like, oh shit. But yeah, they just kept going. Then you get to a point where I think I mentioned to Dean once when my legs just sort of went numb. They went from a burning stage. Like, you know, whenever I trained and things hurt, because I used to train with Platts a lot and he'd make things hurt. It's almost like you go to that zone where you're there, but you're not there. You get this tunnel vision, you block everything else out. And that's what it was like. My legs got to the point where it hurt. And like, well, okay, it's not going to kill me. I'll just keep going. But then it went numb, which was the weirdest feeling because my legs are numb. And it's like, okay, I can feel my feet on the plate, but in between my feet and my waist, it's like nothing's there, but I'm still pushing it. So it ended up being about 1,000 or 1,017. I'm like, fuck it, that's enough. I'm not doing it anymore. But when I used to train with Tom, he used to do crazy shit like that. Like I do it with Aaron, where he'll do as many as leg extensions as you could, and then he'd start, you know, where he'd pull it up and then start pushing down. You've got to resist against him. He'd do like 5 of them, and Tom would get right on. He'd put his hands on it, then he'd put his knee on it and start pushing down. He'd be like, try and kick it in my face. I'm like, well, if I fucking could, I would. And as he's got his head down, I'm like, this fucking. But he'd do like even hack squats. We'd only go maybe sometimes 4 or 5 on the hack squat. Then we'd go back to the 3 plates, and we'd do the same thing, as many reps as we can. And then he'd make me bring it down halfway like a static hold and just hold it there. And then as I'm holding it there, he'd start pulling on it. And as he's pulling down, I'd have to try resist against it. Then I'd come up, get my breath, go back down halfway, then he'd start pulling on it again. Just crazy stuff like that. Because Tom, I always joke with Tom, I'd say, make a comeback, Tom. And Tom's like, no. He goes, I could. And he goes, because Tom's one of those guys, he goes, once I get to the gym, he goes, once I get into that zone, he goes, I just go crazy. My mind goes. I remember doing calves with him, and Tom's, you know, when you talk about going to failure, people are just like, okay, I can't do anymore. You're doing laterals with Tom, you'll be doing laterals like this. This is why sometimes you go fucking cold waiting for your set. Tom would be like this, you get to here, you get to here. You get to the point where he's just going.
It was still trying.
And fucking 10 minutes has fucking gone by. And when's it my set? Calves is the same. He'll be doing calves, doing it fully. As they burn, he starts doing the quicker ones. And then it gets to the point where it'd be like this on the thing, and I've got to hold his toes and just pull them forward. He just do those real fast ones like this. And I think, but he just got that mindset where he'll just go fucking into that zone and go crazy. And I've always been that way. I've liked high volume. People are like, well, that's overtraining. I'm like, look, as long as you get your meals in and you get your resting and stuff, I never believed in overtraining. I just love to train. I've always, you know, people set a thing up like, you can only do this much for chest. And I'm like, if you're, you know, I've always just listened to the body, very instinctive, like Tom was. If you're having a great chest day, why limit yourself? If you've done incline press and you've done flies and flat this and some pec deck, you're like, you know what, I've still got energy, I've still got a great pump, then fucking keep going. Don't just say, well, I've done 15 sets, that's enough, I've got to stop now. If you're having a great workout, if it goes for 2-3 hours, fucking let it go for 2 or 3 hours. You know, I used to talk to Arnold and then when I was doing cardio, he's like, why are you doing cardio? I'm like, oh, he goes, in their day, they just train longer, you know, because you're burning calories training. Sometimes they train 2 or 3 times a day, have a morning workout, go and eat, go lay at the beach, sleep, come back, train, go back and come back again at night time. And, you know, they didn't have a problem with thickness and muscle. It's just, I don't know, people today, they want to get big and they want to look a certain way, but they're getting fucking lazier. They rely too much on drugs. And it's like, well, any more than 45 minutes overtraining. I'm like, okay, I don't believe that, because by the time I even warm up sometimes, I remember when I used to do biceps, my first 5 sets could just be warm-ups before I got to the 5 or 7 working sets of barbell curl. And they're like, well, 45 minutes. I said, you want to be the best at this sport. You want to be a pro bodybuilder. It's like, pick me a sport, gymnastics, tennis, golf, boxing. Show me the number 1 guy in the world who only trains 45 minutes a fucking day. It's like, you know, once you became Mr. Olympia, like Phil Heath or Dorian Yates, once you've got that foundation muscle, then you're huge. They could probably just go to the gym for 45 minutes now and keep that muscle, you know, as long as they do something. But if you want to be the best and build up, it's just like, you want to do it, but yet they want to be in the gym and get out quick. They're like, well, what do you do for the rest of the day now? Just sit around and eat and hang out. But it's like, no, you got to bust your ass. If you want to be a champion, you got to bust your ass. And sometimes it can take hours. I'm sure if you've got jobs, you've got limited time, fine. But in that time, you got to train the best you can. But people used to say to me when they say, what do you do for biceps? I'm like, I do the same as you, barbell curl, dumbbell curl. Yes, I got good genetics for arms, but I do high volume. I do at least 20 sets minimum. People are like, well, that just works for you. That just works for everyone. I said, no. I said, I've had training partners who don't have great genetics, and they used to be in the belief of, I say to them, what do you do for arms? Oh, 6 or 8 sets. I'm like, why that? Well, you know, when you do back, your biceps get worked. I'm like, yeah, well, when you do them back, they do get a little bit of indirect work, same as if you're doing chest or shoulders, your triceps get a little bit of work. But that doesn't mean when it comes time to train biceps or triceps, you don't punish them as hard as anything else. If you want them to grow, you got to punish them just as hard as you would legs, chest, or anything else. So they all started doing the higher volume, and their arms grew a couple of inches. So it's not just I can say, well, that just works for you, Lee. It's worked for other people too. So
it's always these big, like, fat, bloated guys that are telling you that it's wrong and you're doing it all wrong. And then when they diet for a show, if they get in condition, the bloat just disappears to nothing, and there's no real muscle. But I'm like, I'm a big believer using heavy weights and compounds and stuff like that. But the same as you, it's all about heavyweight and volume. So I do a lot of drop sets and shit like that, and I just abuse the muscle way past failure. And the same, I get told I'm doing it wrong. But there's some guy with twig legs telling me that I'm training legs wrong. I remember talking to you there once, and I was really chuffed. And one achievement one day that I had like 5 plates aside on the squat bar, and I did 20 fucking reps, and nobody in the gym is touching anywhere near that. And then you're like, oh yeah, me and Tom used to do that on a regular basis.
But Tom, that's the thing though. If we did squats, Tom would make me do at least. If we're doing 3 plates, it'd be around the 20 reps at the 30. But then if we've got the 5 plates, I'd always like to go between 15, 20 reps. And generally towards the end too, we'd just be like, oh, I remember you get to 15 and not only your legs burn, your back's fucking tight, and you think I haven't got any more in me. But if Tom Platts is standing behind me, I'm like, I gotta fucking do this. I remember the very first leg workout I had with Tom. I probably woke up at 1 o'clock that morning. I thought I was having a fucking heart attack. Like my whole central nervous system was like almost shutting down, because this is the first leg workout with Tom Platts, and he's giving me all those fucking negatives and this and that. I'm showing it's not hurting, I'm pushing. And we're at Redondo Beach Golds, and there's stairs going down. End of the workout, I'm like dancing down the stairs. And Tom's like, I was actually dancing like normal, like, yeah, that was fun. Right. And Tom's like, you're not fucking human. If that was me, I'd be crawling out of here. I'm like, no, I'm fine. After we went and had something deep, by the time I got to the car, I'm like, but in front of Tom, I just like, that didn't fucking hurt me. But that night, I woke up about 1 a.m. and the whole body's like trembling and shaking, because I think my whole nervous system was fucking shot, because I could have stopped fucking 30 minutes into. But you know, if you got Tom Platts pushing down on the thing and doing this, I'm like, fuck you ain't gonna beat me. Oh my god, it was fucking painful and terrible.
Did you ever get like any severe cramps in your legs and stuff?
All the time.
Because I've had it for like 6 to 8 hours of cramping, crawling.
I've had it like where it feels like it's actually going to just tear off the bone. It cramps and just gets tighter and tighter. Mine was more like sometimes I'd go after a leg workout. There's nothing. Fuck, I got to go to the grocery store. Be driving. As soon as I get out the car and step up,
in public. Yeah, you're on the floor, crawling around. So
I'm hanging onto the car. I'll be hanging onto the car door. One leg's cramped. I'm trying to straighten it out. And just when you stand up, the other leg goes. Now you got 2 fucking cramped legs. I'm crouched down near a car. People think I'm trying to steal the fucking car because I'm down. People are like, are you okay? I'm like,
do you know how satisfying this is for me to hear this? Because nobody understands when I have like a 6-hour cramp and you're in a fucking restaurant or in a car park on the floor. People are coming over to see if you're okay, or rolling around. No, it's just a cramp. And you can't physically do anything, can you? But crawling.
I did it once, even though I had a leg workout. I did it once. I was did a hamstring work. I had to fly somewhere, and I was in the middle seat. I'm like, oh fuck, I got to get out of here. And I'm trying to think, oh, I'll get out. So I'm trying to curl my leg back to get out. Fucking hammy just went. And I finally get down to the back of the plane. And I'm just standing near the toilet. The stewardess is like, are you okay? I'm like, Like, at this point, I got fucking sweat running down my face because it's fucking killing me. And it won't let go, and it's just getting tighter and tighter. And you can't talk. You're just like, When you finally get that little relief, and you're like, it's gone. And you just go to stand up and
I'm on the floor, and it's like I'm a pregnant woman giving birth. I'm like,
I know.
punching it.
Down. It just gets tighter and tighter sometimes. You swear it's going to tear off the bone, and you can see it. I remember once that happened when I was doing legs with Tom, but it wasn't my legs. I got to the 20th rep, and I felt like I was actually around the 15 mark. I said, I feel sick. He's like, come on, get the reps. I feel sick. I'm like, okay. Because I was getting in contest shape, I was a bit depleted. And I said, okay, I finally got the 20. I said, get the garbage bin. He brings the garbage bin over, and I fucking hurl in it. The next thing, my whole fucking abs just cramp. So they're cramped up, they're sticking out. I'm like hurling like this. And now my abs are cramped. I can't breathe. So I'm like, trying to breathe air in at the same time. My fucking abs are sticking out here and there. I'm like, oh, fuck me there. This is terrible. Same as if you ever had those leg workouts, you know, you're doing your missus from behind doggy style and the fucking hammy goes, boom. She gets that one big thrust when the hammy cramps, but after that
she flies off the bed.
but then because the hammy's cramped that much, you go, come back here. I got a cramped hammy, but I'll shove this marshmallow in your fucking letterbox. Get back here. It's a real mood. It's a real mood killer when it happens. Eh?
Oh wow, yeah. So take away from that, then Lee has spoken. If you're not training to the point that you can't walk and you're cramping up, and
but the thing is,
your dick goes soft when you're trying to shake, you're not training hard enough.
Yeah. Well, favourite thing I used to do arms. I used to do arms at so much volume on arms. I used to love coming home and just flexing the bicep till it cramped. And then when it cramped, I'd actually hold it there like this, and you'd have to straighten your arm out like that. But actually try and get it to cramp. I'd be like, here it comes, whack, and I'd make it hold it there. And the next day, you know, if you had a cramp, the next day, you feel so sore. So if I ever had a shitty workout, I'd cramp the muscle. So the next day, I'm like, oh, I must have trained it hard. It's very sore.
Tear it off the bone, but yeah, it's cool. I trained.
Yeah. But luckily, touch wood, I've never. When I was competing, I think once or twice on stage, I got a calf cramp. You know, you get down into a pose, and all of a sudden it's like, and you're like, you feel like, oh, you're always smiling. I said, that wasn't a smile. That's just a look of grimace on my face because it's cramping. Or the worst thing is too, you might not be cramping. You get caught out in the call out, and they might say calves and abs and thighs, and you go to flex and it goes to cramp, and people are like, why weren't you flexing up there? It's like, because I was fucking cramping. I couldn't flex it, you idiot. Like, you're trying to, and you're thinking that the main time I got to flex my quad, I can't, because you know, when you go to do it, you can just feel the fibers getting ready to go. You think if it goes, it's locking on, and I'll be stuck up here
on the floor. I guess some real bad check ones now and then as well. And trying to ride your car, and every time you turn one way, it cramps up. You're like,
what about when you're just watching TV and that happens? You just hold the remote, all of a sudden it goes. You think to yourself, now is that a cramp or is this a fucking heart attack coming on? You're not sure. You go to the doctor. Have you ever had chest pain? Yeah, I get chest pain all the fucking time. I said, I wouldn't know if I was having a heart attack or not. I don't know if it's from training chest or I'm actually having a heart attack. I said, I'll be the last one to know. I'll be on the floor because you get those little pains here and there, or it just starts getting this twitch. Like, is that the muscle twitching, or am I having like bad fucking arrhythmia down there under the fucking, with the heart pumping? I remember the one time back in the day when clenbuterol was the big thing.
Oh, it's horrible.
I used to take the powdered one because I could always just measure a teaspoon, and even then you'd be fucking eating and your fucking fingers go like you got fucking Parkinson's disease, like fucking this, and you ever did it where you go to yawn and
you cramping your jaw, just cramping up. Yeah.
Fuck, I'm having a fucking stroke like Kirk Douglas. It's like I'm fucking like that. But then everything would just be cramping, so I thought, fuck this. But then the liquid one came out. I'm like, well, how do I judge this? And one day I took that and I had the fucking shakes. And I'm watching TV and I'm like, if that fucking cunt doesn't stop playing his drums next door, then I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's my fucking heart. It was that fucking loud and shit. I thought the cunt was playing drums next door. I thought it was fucking, you know, that fucking Toto song, Africa, fucking was playing. All I heard was these fucking drums.
I did some clen once, and the normal one that I normally take, it was probably, I don't know, 20 to 40 milligram, whatever it is, dosage wise. These particular ones that I got on, and I was like, be careful with these ones, they're strong. Just maybe snap a tablet in half or something. They were like double or triple dosed. It's this tiny little fucking tablet. What's that going to do? Drive into Birmingham. It's about 40-minute drive. I got 20 minutes into my drive. I got stuck in traffic, and I had to get out of my car because my whole fucking body cramped. I was just locked in this position. I've rolled on the fucking floor in the middle of the road. All these cars. And I was like, I can't fucking move. This is cramping up. And I finally got back in my car. I just turned around, went home. I just sat in a fucking dark corner of my house, shaking. When's it gonna stop? When's it gonna stop? It's fucking disgusting.
Well, they make you sweat. I remember when Paul Dillette lived with me, he'd take clenbuterol and a fair bit of stuff because they like the little tablet ones, and he'd take a fair few of them. And I like, you going to do cardio? He's like, no, I'll just take more clen. And he'd be sitting there. I'd come home from the gym. He'd be sitting on the couch. He'd always call me son. He goes, son, turn the air on. It's fucking hot in here. I'm burning up. I turned the air on. But speaking of, I never had that with clean like you experienced, but this was back in my, because I said I'd never done pot, never did that. This one time I thought I'd try LSD, like the little trip things on the cardboard. How bad can that be? A person gives me says, take half of one. It's just, they're strong. Yeah, I'll take the whole thing. So me and the missus watching TV, put down. All of a sudden, fucking muscles are twitching like I got spiders under my skin. It's like, my feet feel like they're fucking floating. I got to keep hitting my feet on the floor. I keep getting up, walking around. Oh yeah, then I'm like, doing whatever. Fuck, I got to go to the toilet. So I'm just sitting on the toilet relaxing. As I'm sitting there, I'm lifting my feet up. And she walked past, she goes, what are you doing? I said, the fucking floor's raising up. I can see the fucking floor coming up like this. And then I closed my eyes because it's getting worse. And all of a sudden, all I see these things like spider webs fucking glowing blue and green and fucking shit like this. So she could, and I'm laid there. I go to lay back down. You can see my muscles twitching like this. And I'm like, this is fucking terrible. And I fucking feel alert. And I just close my eyes and I'm seeing all this weird shit. I was telling her that I had to go fucking out of space to save the fucking galaxy or fucking whatever I was fucking tripping on. I was like, fuck, I got to go to the toilet again. So I go to the toilet, I'm taking a piss, I'm just looking in the bowl, and I come back and said, oh, you know what? I know what my kindred spirit, I'm a fucking wolf. I'm a wolf spirit. I said, I've just taken a piss, and this fucking wolf in the toilet was telling me I'm a Navajo fucking Indian, and this is my fucking, I'm a wolf spirit. And it's getting fucking worse. So she calls up the person and goes, yeah, Lee's not feeling too good. He took the whole thing. Like, I said, how long does this go for? And the person's like, oh, at least 7 hours. I'm like, fuck, what? I got to put up with this shit for 7 hours. I was fucking tripping like fucking. And she's like, I don't see anything. I'm like, well, fucking. I'm off saving the fucking galaxy, seeing wolves fucking talking to me in the toilet. I'm fucking.
You decided to do this just on a normal night watching TV.
Yeah. That's why when I do a lot of these things, people are like, is Lee off his head or drunk or on drugs? I'm like, no, if I was, you'd fucking This is just Lee normal. I don't know.
How old were you when you took that?
Huh?
How old were you when you first took LSD?
Oh, that was only like
last week.
2 years ago.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I never did. My friends used to do pot and stuff, and I was never interested in that side of thing. And I never liked drinking because I just didn't like the taste of alcohol and stuff. I've experimented, I've tried this and that. And then it's like, I've tried what's that? Oh, a bit of Coke, let me try that. And I'm like, yeah, that's okay. It's fun and shit. But then it's like, I've never had that addictive personality where I can do something once or twice and okay, it was fun at the time, but I don't need to do it again. I don't need to do it again type thing. It's just, it's one of those things. And then I remember the time I did Coke, it was just like, all I want to do is, again, just keep pissing. I don't know, I got to piss all the time. And in the beginning, you're watching fucking porn with it, and you're like, wow, this is great, isn't it? The next thing, you're fucking flogging a marshmallow there. Still feels good, but nothing's fucking happening. You're pulling yourself off for 4 or 5 fucking hours. I told this story once to a mate of mine, I think, and here I was. Home alone, I think, and depressed. I get some fucking Coke. What else? It's Friday night, I'm alone. Didn't have a girlfriend at the time. I put some fucking porn on, watching a bit of Coke. Oh yeah, this is great. Get the lube out, setting myself, feeling guilty because the cat's on the couch, fucking watching me. Like, don't fucking look, don't judge me, cat. Something about this. And then I know I'm really into it because I'm talking to the TV. You dirty fucking whore! Look at you, fucking disgusting. You take that, you thing and that. So I think, what can I do now? It's gone fucking soft. I know what. I'll get a fucking shoelace. So I go get a fucking shoelace, tie it around the end of the cock, tie it to the coffee table, stretch it right out so you can fucking stroke it like you're fucking cleaning a blade on a leather strap. So, as the Coke's wearing off because it's getting near the end of the night, this has been going on for hours. So here I am. No pants on, sitting on the lounge room floor, cock tied to a shoelace on the coffee table, stroking it on Coke, and then it hits me. Say I fucking die. And like my mum doesn't hear from me for 4 days, and she comes over with the ambulance. There's fucking porn on, a bottle of lube, Coke, me sitting there on the floor with my cock tied to the coffee table. I'd be like, explain that one. Oh, it's so sad, Lenny. How did your son die? Heart attack, we think. Heart attack. Imagine writing that one up. He was found self-abusing himself.
I'm just glad you didn't do anything to the cat.
Oh god. You probably
It was
died
too fast.
dehydration.
It was too fast. I tried. It was too quick.
6 hours of rigorous wanking. You probably died of dehydration.
Pretty much.
Army.
But I did start laughing to myself, though, thinking if I did die, this would be the funniest scene when somebody walked in and see me. You know, like you get these famous people that die, you know, jacking off, choking themselves in a cupboard. Yeah, but seeing just someone sitting there like this, and they'd be like, "What the fuck? He got a shoelace around his cup tied to the coffee table."
Imagine Columbo trying to figure that out.
What the hell was going on in here? The cat would be
Columbo would be there. Well, he clearly had some coke.
They look at the cat would be like, meow. Yeah. So no, normally it's best I stay away from things like that.
Yeah, kids, don't do drugs.
Well, I could just imagine if that's how I did die, and someone would ask your parents or your friends, "How did he die?" "Oh, in his sleep, we think." In his sleep. You wouldn't want to give the true description, would you?
Do you think your mum would clean it all away for you? It's fine.
Yeah, clean.
But he had a happy death. He died with a smile on his face.
Exactly. Yeah, so. No, but like I said, I've never had the personality where even when it comes to steroids, like I said, I'd use them more for contest time. But I got mates never come off them. Mentally, it's like they get that if they come off them, they're going to get small. I can't train without them. They got that whole. I said, if you think like that, you're going to go nowhere. It's like I'd rather be off them, like I said, for a couple of months of the year. When I was off them for 4 or 5 months of the year, contest time, I go back on them. And when you use a small amount, I just found my body responded better than being on. You have these guys now that blast and cruise. They say they're off them, but they're still just cruising on these silly.
They're cruising on more than what I would take for a cycle.
Exactly. And this is the thing I hate too, because when I do a seminar and someone said, "Lee, what are you taking?" I tell them the exact amount. They'd sit there, "Oh, you're lying." I'm like, "Why would I lie?" "Well, I heard you take this." They're like, "Oh, who'd you hear that from?" "Oh, such and such time." I said, "Well, I don't fucking know him. How the fuck would he know what I take?" You know, I had a friend of mine once. This is a funny story. He was in a gym. And he calls me up. He goes, "Lee, do you know such and such?" I said, "No, why?" He goes, "He's over here in the gym. He's telling these 4 young kids that he used to live with you. And one day he came into the bathroom and you're sitting on the toilet with fucking a syringe in each quad."
And a shoelace around your dick.
Yeah. No. Different day, mate. Blame them. Yeah, so I said, "Go over there and give him the phone." So he goes over, he gives him the phone. I said, "Hello." He's like, "Who's this?" I said, "Well, you should know me. You used to live with me, didn't you? You walked in on me on the toilet." I said, "It's Lee Preach." And he handed the phone back to my mate and he took off out the gym really quick. But I'm thinking, if my mate wasn't there at that time to hear him, these 4 young kids he's talking to, they're fucking believing it. Yeah. "Oh, he was on the toilet injecting his quads." This guy's like, "Yeah, I used to live with him and stuff." I'm like, the shit people come up with. I said, if you want to know anything, just ask me. It's like, from day one, my mum always said, "Tell the truth." So I've always told the truth. People like me or hate me for it, but I've always been that way. I've always said that's how politicians should be. Tell the truth. You might hate the politician, but at least you can say, "Well, you know what? He was honest. We asked him a question, he answered." So I've always been that way when it came to anything. Just I've always told the truth, but people don't want to hear the truth. I'm just like, "Well, don't ask me a question then." But you know, they'll be like, "Well, I read online. This guy says you need this much and this stuff." It's like, well, you don't. I remember when I first started taking stanozol, you know, being water-based. Yeah. I was told you got to take it every second day, so I'd do that, and it fucking hurt. It would clog up. You get a bit of like that infection. Sting. So then I went. Then I went every second day. I ended up taking it every 4th day for a contest, and I was in just the greatest shape as I took it every other day. And then I was reading on the bottle. I said it before. It says, for a horse takes 2 mil per 100 kilos every 2 weeks. I'm like, well, why the fuck am I taking a mil every fucking second day? I said, I'm not as big as a horse. Why the fuck do I need that much? So it just came down to really common sense. And then people are like, well, Lee, if you take this drug, you got to take it every other day because, you know, it's only got a half-life. And I'm thinking, if the drug's in my system, what you think if I put a fast-acting drug in my system 2 days later, it's fucking out of my system like that? It's still in there. I think half these cycles and courses are given out by people who sell the fucking drugs so they can make more fucking money off people. That's the main thing. I said, you don't need that much. Just take a small amount. And then when you come off, actually come off, clean out. And yeah, I'd always do blood tests on season, when I've taken gear, so I know what my blood is, cholesterol, and get my heart checked. And then off season, because I'd get so heavy and eat so much food, I'd get my health and blood work and all that done then too, so I could compare the two. And I never really had a problem because I said I used it, I didn't abuse it. But sadly now, like I said, internet's a great thing, but if you're going to go to someone you want to learn about dieting and training, go to someone that's done something like Dean and stuff and all these other people. I see some people going to these people who are experts, never done anything. Oh, they've read shit online, or they got fucking a little degree here and there. And it's like, if you're beginning in the sport, it's good to have a coach or a guru, as they call them, to help you. But then I figure the whole sport really is trial and error. You got to find what works for you. And that's what I did. I do a diet, didn't work. I try a drug, because to me, people come up to me sometimes and say, Lee, can you coach me for this? And then I'm like, well, you don't really need me, because all I'm doing is experimenting like you'll do. I can say, here's a diet. I want you to eat this. Train here. When it comes to drugs, take this. So in 2 weeks, I say, how you feeling? Oh, this, that. Okay, we'll cut this bit of food out. Maybe cut that drug out. You could do that yourself, because I don't know your body better than you do. I think when you get into this sport, all you really need is a great training partner, a couple of friends that are going to be truthful. I said, instead of gurus telling you what to eat and what to take, I'd rather have a guy that's going to turn up at 6 a.m. every day and push my ass in the gym. The rest of the shit, like eating and drugs, you can work that out yourself. Just be honest with yourself and have the guy tell you, oh, maybe you're looking a bit fat, maybe cut a bit back on this and stuff. But these guys that just go in blind faith and pay all this money to these so-called gurus who have done nothing, then these gurus are making names for themselves off these pros who are genetically gifted, who would be there if they ate dog shit and trained. It's like, that's just crazy. In the beginning, yes, you need someone. It's like when I see someone at the gym with a PT, to learn how to train properly, get the correct this and that, that's good. But, after maybe 8 months of a PT, you should sort of know what you're doing yourself. And then maybe every now and then get a top up, maybe get a new diet off them and stuff like that. But I've seen people with the same PT for 2 or 3 years and they still look exactly the same. I'm like, you're paying this person and you're not training. What's going on here? What is it, more like just a psychiatrist, like you go to the hairdresser and just chat to them? It's like, to me, it's like if I had clients, the best thing to do is get your clients into shape or make them make changes, and other people see that, go, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. Look, this person was overweight, now they're in great shape. That's good for your business. If I see someone that's training people and in 2 or 3 years they still look exactly the same, or the PT themselves is big and fat like this and their clients are like that, I'm like, well, they do look like their clients, so I guess it's working. So whatever program they're on.
It's true though, isn't it? Don't get me started on PTs, because I have this big fucking rant, and it's the whole reason why I created Legion and everything. But I see them in the gym, and they're just on their phone like that, texting like, yeah, do 10 minutes on the treadmill, do one more. I'm like, why are you paying this person? When I used to PT people, I didn't want to train them. So I'd push them and push them and push them. Like, I'd only train the ones that want to do it. So first of all, it's a fucking hard leg session.
I'm the same.
If they come back, then they're up for it.
Yeah.
But everything that I do with them, I'm explaining why, and I'm asking them questions, making them learn. Because then I'm like, okay, you don't need me now. Go and do it your fucking self.
Did you get the ones too when you say do this exercise? Oh, I don't like that one. That one hurts. It's like, oh, well, sorry. I'm sorry. It's not fucking just fluffy and tickles here, mate. It's going to fucking hurt. Or you go one more. You said you get the ones who want to train. You say one more, two more. They'll push and you can get them to do more and more. You get the ones where they'll be pushing. You say one more, they go no, and they just rack it on.
And you're holding.
You didn't even fucking try. That's what annoys me. It's like if I say one more, and they just go no. I'm like, at least try.
They put the bar on the back and they're, oh, this is not comfortable. It's not supposed to be fucking comfortable. It's not a memory foam fucking mattress. Just lift the fucking thing.
I know.
They're ridiculous.
That's what I say when I stick up my missus' ass. It's not meant to be comfortable. It's for my enjoyment. Just shut up and take it.
I think some clients used to just pay you just so they can sort of pay away the problem. It's like they can tell it's bragging rights to have a PT, and then they can throw money at their, being overweight, but then they'll, blame the PT at the end of it as well. Oh, that PT was shit. Not the fact that they were a lazy twat in the first place.
Well, I used to train one lady. She was like, "Did I give her a diet?" And she was losing weight. Then I see her weight's going up. I'm like, "Are you sticking to that diet?" Yeah. I'm like, this is weird, because Dean would know. We know that if you're on a certain type of diet and you're training doing cardio, your weight should be going down and getting in shape, not going the other way. So I was like, this is amazing. Okay, maybe she's a bit elderly, not elderly, but middle-aged. I'm thinking maybe hormones play into it. Maybe she, sometimes you hold a bit more fluid or whatever's going on. But then as you're getting heavier again, I'm like, how is this happening? I said, now what's really going on? Well, I should tell you. Sometimes I do have a couple of bags of chips and a couple of bottles of wine and that. But she'd be getting mad at me because her weight's going up. I'm like, well, you can't get mad at me. I've told you what to do. You've seen if you follow the diet, you're slowly getting. And I don't even call it a diet. Really, it's just clean eating. Like if you say diet to people, some people go on these crazy diets that I wouldn't even stick to. And the average person ain't going to stay on these crazy diets because you just go fucking mad and you have no life. So right now I'm still eating clean, but yesterday I had probably 4 chocolate bars and a thing of ice cream. But this morning I get up, do an hour of cardio and stuff, and my weight hasn't changed. So as long as you're eating somewhat healthy, you can still have a little bit of something good now and then, whereas if people go, no, I can't have that at all. If you've got a craving for something, if you're eating clean, a little bit's not going to be bad. But these ones that go on these crazy diets of, I just got to eat lettuce and tuna and that, they last about 2 weeks and then they lose it and they go to McDonald's and go, boo, they put on more weight than they lost. So
binge eat, don't they? The body craves it, and then
that's why I don't even call it a diet.
5,000 calories in one fucking meal and put 2 stone on overnight.
Yeah. If you get ready for a contest, okay, you got to go on a contest type diet. But the average person, really, if they just clean up their eating, they could just lose weight and stuff like that. And the types of foods they eat. So I don't always say to someone, you've got to go on a diet. They're like, oh, diet. I was like, it's not a diet. Just clean up your eating. There's little things you can make here and there, whether it be low fat type foods, or you go from, there's so many people eat processed foods that have got so high in shit that, half these people, when you put them on a cleaner diet, they'll drop 5 kilos in a week or two just from water because of all the, sodium they've been having. They're like, oh, fuck, I've come down 5 kilos. They get all happy, and then it might slow down after that. But there's just little things you can make in diets that, can help people out. But, it's like, that's why I hate when people always blame McDonald's or blame this. I'm fat because McDonald's, or here in Australia, they took the commercials off TV for like Cocoa Pops because that's making kids fat. I'm thinking, I don't see young fucking Charlie, 4 years old, pushing his cart through the grocery store buying Cocoa Pops. It's the fucking fat mum and dad buying it for him. It's like, you can't blame the commercials. You can't blame McDonald's. It's like, if you're going in there, it's your choice. You're the one fucking buying it. So, just got to, if you want to have McDonald's, fine, have it. Have it maybe once every 2 weeks, once a week. Don't have it every fucking day and say, oh, I can't believe it. It's like these, I see it all the time, but hear these women. I never see, it's still pretty heavy. And after they train, you see them in the coffee shop with fucking cake. Or they've got kids. Yeah, I haven't sat down all day. I've been chasing him around. I never get time to myself. I'm running around after him. I'm like, oh, fuck me dead. Your kid must move as slow as a snail because you're fucking fat still. I'm thinking, if you're doing that much cardio chasing your kid, you should at least lose weight. But I think they're the type of parent, do you want a happy meal? The kid goes, yeah. Kid eats one nugget. Oh, mummy better eat the rest.
I've seen that.
I can't understand why I'm not losing weight. I was like, well, fucking hell. And sadly, I say it all the time, when you go to stores, I was looking at, they've got this ice cream now sometimes buy. It's just like a little tub, like the small Ben and Jerry's tub, but it's like 300 calories for the whole thing, and it's like high in protein, but it's like $9 because it's a healthier one. Or they've got these other ones that are like protein bars. There's 4 in a box. It's like $10. So you've got this healthy ice cream, because I forget what it's made from, but yeah, it's high in protein, almost no fat, $9. Then I go down here to the Streets 4-litre container, $2.50. I wonder why people are fat. It's like, all the healthier shit is just so much more money. It's like, even like they say, you got to have so much fruit and vegetables. If you've got kids at home, even buying vegetables and fruit, sometimes the price goes through the roof. It's like, let me get this straight. Even like, I always make fun of it. 2-litre bottle of Coke, $1.50. A bottle of water, $3.40. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, then they go, oh, why are people so fat? It's like, well, shit, when Coca-Cola's 2 litres cheaper than water or stuff like that, it's like,
yeah, messed up.
So Lee, how's your diet like these days? Because you was always known back in the day for enjoying your KFCs and a bit of junk food now, and you used to get really heavy off season. But as you're saying, you train hard, you was health conscious, you always get your bloods done, and you was always keyed up with your health. How is it these days? Because you don't bloat up so much, you keep your weight in control. Do you eat more healthily, or do you just keep it all in check?
Just been eating cleaner mainly. Like I said, I still I might have for breakfast now, I might have scrambled eggs and toast, but then later on I might have a cherry ripe thrown in. But then next meal could be like another just healthy type of meal. And then I do cardio. I still do cardio at the moment twice a day because the treadmill has a TV on, so I can catch up on silly YouTube videos while I'm on the treadmill and stuff, or just go walking outside. But yeah, I just cleaned it up a bit. I just decided, because normally I'd always judge my weight on the old pants roll. You know, when you start getting heavy and you get that little muffin top, your boxer shorts or whatever you're wearing would fold over one time. I'm like, oh, okay. But then I was getting heavy, and they got to the third fold. I figured, well, I better start losing some weight. You know, they'd roll over, then roll over again, then roll over again. Fucking hell! Before my pants will be down around my ankles if it keeps fucking going down. I'll be getting one of those guts that overhangs everything. But no, it's still pretty solid. But I just figured, oh, you know what, I'm just going to clean it up a bit. You know,
well, 80-90% clean, 10-20% shit, and then the more shit you eat, the more cardio you do.
Exactly, pretty much.
Yeah.
I still, like I said, I still have a bit of shit food every day, but I just do more cardio. But yeah, because before I wasn't doing any cardio, I was eating shit food and then just sitting there going, I should do something. But I might sit there now, watch TV for a bit, have some chocolate, or the other day we had some Chinese. I still, if I do get a craving, I might have it, but then I just do a bit more cardio. So
this is the difference where a lot of people don't understand, do they? Somebody like you who's been training for all your life, you still got a shit ton of muscle on your body. That's constantly burning a lot of calories, isn't it? So when you're holding muscle, you can get away with eating a lot more, and because you've trained for so many years, your body's adapted to utilize carbohydrates a lot better than say somebody that doesn't train, or if somebody's just say that there's you and a normal person that weighs the same but has very little muscle mass. You eat the same food, he gets fat and you don't, and they're scratching their head. Because you've got so much muscle, you can get away with that bit more, can't you? And a lot of people don't understand this. They're like, well, Lee's eating shit, I can eat the same.
Well, it's the same.
Fucking 200 pound and fucking 25% body fat. It's a little bit different compared to somebody like you.
It's even the same too, like even getting your metabolism going. I know a lot of times when you probably get to, when you sometimes meet women who are a bit overweight and you ask them what they're eating. I have a cup of coffee for breakfast and then like maybe a piece of toast. It's like they're eating so little, the metabolism's just slowed down that sometimes you go give them a diet. Yeah, you give them a diet of 5 meals and they're like, oh, that's too much food. That's too much food. Right. I can't eat all that. And then when they start eating it, do a little bit of exercise, they actually start losing weight. People don't realize if you don't eat enough, sometimes your metabolism slows down. If your body thinks it's not going to get fed, it's going to hold on to the fat and everything for protection. It's just like, it's just
the hardest thing to those people is when you first make them eat more food. Then of course their body's like a sponge. They put weight on and then start losing weight. So you got to get them past that process, isn't it? They're like, oh well, you're talking shit because I've just put half a stone on eating more food. I'm going to go back to eating nothing. You got to get going, ain't you?
And the worst thing is to get them off the scale, because you see it at the gym. I sometimes see the same women when I was going to the gym before they closed in the morning before their cardio. They come in and get on the scale, and you just see them. I'm thinking, this is going to be a good day or bad day. Sometimes you see them hop off and they smile. Sometimes you see them get off the scale.
When they've got 5 jumpers on, it's a good day. When it's a bad day, they're still in that.
Like I said, your body, even in contest shape, your body can change 1 or 2 pounds just from fluid. So these women, they're so paranoid every day. Oh shit, it's going up, it's going down. Or sometimes they've got different joggers on. Those joggers could be a couple of grams heavier. Oh shit, I put some weight on. It's like the whole mental fuck they go through, just weighing themselves every day. It's like, don't do it. Go by the mirror. Go by how you feel. Go by how your clothes fit. But maybe have a weigh-in every 2 or 3 weeks, not every day. You're going to drive your fucking self mad.
Or they lose 1 pound, so they have to treat themselves to a cheat day.
Yeah, I did that once for a day. I did that once with a guy who's like me, sort of really bulked up. Lee, can you do me a diet type thing, an eating plan? I said, yeah. So I did it for him. He gets it. First thing he looks at it, he goes, when's my cheat meal? I'm like, I said, you get a cheat meal when you lose some fucking weight. I said, you've been cheating for the last fucking 5 years. It's like, at least, even when I had cheat meals at a contest time, I never had it until I got near contest shape, because I knew if I had it earlier, I'd be like, well, fuck this dieting. I'm just going to go back to eating normal food, because once I got on the diet food, your taste buds change and stuff. You actually start enjoying it. But I knew if I went and had something that tastes really good, it's hard to go back to the diet food the next day. So I wouldn't shoot until I actually got in shape. But yeah, you give someone a diet, the first thing, when's my cheat day? It's like, come on, mate. It's like, at least get through a bit of stuff.
Yeah, like they want that little reward for doing fuck all. For
Exactly.
being
It's like I said, when you're training, they said they don't like that pain. It's like, you know, your mind's going to give out before the muscle all the time. It's like, you know, you're doing something that really hurts. Your first thing your mind goes is, hey, stop. This isn't comfortable. Stop doing what you're doing. But, you know, if you've got someone there, you can push past the pain. But generally, once people get to that point where it hurts, oh, I don't like that anymore. I'm going to stop doing that. It's like, no, keep going. No, it hurts. It's like, oh, fucking hell. It's like... That's why sometimes I won't even train people. I'm just like, you know what, I give up. It actually makes me fucking more. I go over workout later, I feel shit. I'm like, yeah, I got to do my workouts in the morning or anything. Even like now, I still get up about 4 a.m., do cardio and train, because people are like, why do you do it so early? Because if you can do it early, I prefer to do it, because then no matter what happens for the rest of the day, if you have a shit day, you have an argument, something happens, or you got to work later, at least your training's done. It's out of the way. Whereas if you're doing shit, then later on, you got to have a workout, you got so much shit on your mind. That's why I always tell people if the phone's in the gym, again, the arguments all the time. Well, Lee, I take my phone into the gym for music. I said, look, generally the gym's got music playing. And anyway, it's just background noise. You should be focused on your workout. Because I said, if you're in the gym and you got your headphones on, you pick up your phone like this and you're like, I'll find a song here. Oh, I got 5 messages. Hold on. You're going to check your fucking messages. You can't help it. And then just say one of those messages is a shit one. Now you're like, oh, fuck, now, fuck. And your whole mindset, you can't be 100% focused on your workout if you're text messaging, checking Facebook. You just want to go in and play around for the day and have a shitty workout or just like have fun. Okay, then. But if you're preparing for a show and that's what you do and stuff, you can't have your fucking phone yet because your focus is out the window. Could you imagine squatting heavy Dean having a great workout, but in between sets you're there checking Facebook, reading comments? Your whole mindset's fucking going elsewhere. You got to be focused on what you're doing. You got the whole rest of the day to be on Facebook, Instagram, and people go, well, Lee, I like to document my workouts. Well, that's fine. Have someone else film it, or do your whole workout, bust your ass at the end of the leg workout, then go back and maybe do one set of squats again and film it then. Film it when everything's said and done. But this all in between stop and starting, because I've done it before myself when I haven't been fucking around. I'll be like, no phone in the gym. I'm so focused. I train. I do a set and I'm like, I'm ready to go again. It's only been like a minute. I remember sometimes you do a set of barbell curl. Oh, let me just check this. Then you're like this. Okay. You're like, fuck, 10 minutes went by. Where the fuck did that go? It's like, it's just ridiculous.
You've got to get with the times, Lee. This day and age now, if it's not on film, then it didn't happen. Everyone has to take their fucking tripod and bullshit in the gym. You don't have chalk and belts and wraps anymore. You have a tripod and a camera.
Mr. Douchey Boo didn't realise back in 88, 89 when I was benching 525, we didn't have fucking camera phones back then. I would have had to bring my mate into the gym with the big VHS camera on his fucking shoulder. Hey Lee, can you do that again? It's like
long play.
Yeah. Remember the old VHS and better? Put the old fucking tape in.
Betamax.
They were good, weren't they? I remember I thought we were smart back in the day. You know, back then this is where people got more exercise too, because back when I was young and that, you had to get up and actually walk to change your fucking TV channel. Yeah, oh fuck, I forget. Go change it, sit down. And then sometimes the station was that bad, you get up 20 times to go fix the fucking rabbit ears and the vertical hold on the fucking TV. We're more fucking active. We were fucking doing shit all the time. But then they came out with the remote that had I'm fucking ripping shit. They had the cord like this, remember? Had the remote control cord that was plugged in. You could push play and stop and this and that. And then we came all this. But now we're that fucking lazy, we don't even fucking do shit. Siri, lights on. Siri, lights off. You know, you can fucking turn shit on before you get home. I was getting a bit lazy when people would go, fucking lights go off.
It'd be funny then if one of our lights had gone off.
You lazy cunt. I make fun of people that have an electric toothbrush. I'm like, you lazy cunt. What? Doing this is too fucking hard. You just want to go, oh, I don't want to burn too many calories. Oh, that fucking hurts. I can't do that. That's just like people are so lazy now. Now they got apps before you get home. Oh, look, I can turn the lights on before I get home. Oh, my fridge tells me that I need milk. I'm too lazy to even look in the fucking fridge now. It's like there's so many things in our life. We're just getting fucking lazier and lazier. Now we've got cars that can keep you in the lane. You can get a car that drives yourself. Oh, heaven forbid you fucking have control of the car yourself. It's like, no, that takes too much work. I'm like, what's wrong with people? They call them smartphones, but they're making us fucking dumb. They're making us dumber and dumber. That's why I don't get these two. People go, oh, I've got so much work to do. What do you do? Our grandparents and mothers used to fucking wash clothes by hand half the time. They make a meal. They had to peel potatoes and this and that and cloth nappies. There's no disposable diapers. Now everything comes pre-chopped, pre-peeled. You just throw it in a pan, stir it together. You go fucking throw some clothes in the machine and it fucking washes them. Throw them in a dryer, it dries them. You don't have to peg them out, hang them out. Instead of fucking putting stuff on a stove, beep, beep, 2 minutes, it's cooked. Everyone's like, oh, I haven't got time. Yeah, you're just fucking time poor. Everything in life now is so much more convenient, and yet people say, I haven't got time for this. I'm like, you just lazy bastard.
Fine as well. Those are the people that are on Facebook or something in the evening. Have you watched this Netflix series? I've just binge watched them all in the last 2 hours.
Yeah. But I can't find 30 minutes to go do exercise or train or fucking...
That used to wind me up. My clients, I don't do it anymore because I can't fucking handle them. But it's like, okay, you want to lose weight, you're going to do a little bit of fasted cardio. Oh, but I have to be at work for 9 o'clock. We'll get up half hour fucking earlier. Just get on the treadmill. Oh, I don't have time for that. You got time to feed your fat fucking face and stop off at McDonald's on the way, or you know what I mean? They're just lazy.
That's what I mean. There's so many more things in our life now that make our life easier that everyone should have plenty of time. You know, like I said, half the time they're just wasting time binge watching TV or sitting on Facebook for 2 hours just talking shit, whatever. It's like, just get out there and do stuff. Well, and I said, if you get it done early, it's done. Okay, you might have to get up, like Dean said, half hour early, but it's done. Do it early because you know.
Go to bed half hour early, get up half hour early.
Yeah. Oh no, we can't. Then they have all these things now, like, oh, kids are finding it hard to sleep because they're taking their fucking phones to bed. They're on their phones at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the fucking morning.
Fucking bright light straight in their face, and they wonder why they can't sleep.
And they don't
their
sleep.
brains are active, reading all these messages.
And then I get annoyed too. We just had again on TV the other day. It was Dolly's Day about this girl who got bullied online, and she killed herself. You know, it's going on about the government's putting $50 million into cyber bullying. I'm thinking, why you got to put $50 million into cyber bullying? It's quite easy. Facebook, Instagram. Let's put Facebook. On Facebook, you can only add your friends. There's a setting. Who can write to you? Only friends. Who can comment on your pictures? Only friends. There's so many settings on every app that the only people who should be able to comment to you are your friends. So if you're getting bullied, well, you're allowing that to happen. You can block all these people on Instagram, Facebook, anything. And then to me too, generally, if your kids under 13, they shouldn't be on fucking social media. There's no need for them. If they want to have a phone for safety, fine, where they can call you if they go out or text you in an emergency. But kids going to school under 13 shouldn't be at school on Facebook or surfing the web and shit. I remember when I was young, I went to my fucking stepfather's room and found a Playboy under the bed. I'm like, oh my God, look, hairy pussy, you know. That's in case you don't know, young kids watching this, that's a vagina with hair on it. Very rarely seen today. It'd be like seeing Bigfoot seeing a vagina with hair on today. No one would believe it. No one would believe you fucking saw it, but they did exist. They used to be really bushy, then they went down to a fucking mohawky type thing, then like a little fucking Hitler mustache above them, and then it just disappeared. I don't know what happened. Just the turn of the century, I don't know. It's like everyone's fucking pussy got fucking stage 4 cancer and the hair fell out. I don't know what happened. Yeah, but I found the Playboy. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. But now, can you imagine this day and age what young kids, when they go XXX porn on their phone? It's like, my God, what they're seeing these days is fucking
500,000 different categories of the most fucked up shit you could ever imagine.
I even get lost sometimes. It's like when I used to play a video game. I just want to sit down and play the video game and just push play. Then I got these video games where it says set up game. I'm like, what do you mean set up? Okay, like the racing ones. What tire do you want? I don't fucking know. What damper on the car? Oh, fuck if I know. What downforce? I just want to fucking race. Just fucking start. But now I go into these porn sites. I just want to see sex. Anal, 2 girls and a dog, 2 girls and a guy girl, Asian girl, oh, fucking black girl, big black girl, big black dick, and a girl and a white. Oh, there's like 2,000 categories. All I want to see is 2 people. Fucking how hard can it be? Just fucking give me a category. And then if I figure, okay, now you've given me these choices, and there's really some sick choices. If I watch that, is this going to a government site and they're like, "Bit, we got another one. We got another fucking sicko."
We're watching. Oh, he's into dogs, is he?
Yeah, the FBI's probably got a little app thing. They're like, let's just throw a few in there and see the sick cunts that watch them. When they watch them, they go into a database, go, yeah, we've got another one. He just logged on to that. We didn't think anyone would, but we've got a sick cunt. He's looking at it.
I pressed the wrong fucking button.
Exactly. I was doing it for a school study, how animals fucking mate with humans. I didn't fucking mean it by anything. I saw some hieroglyphics on an Egyptian wall, and I thought that's what it was. I don't know. I didn't mean to put in bestiality. I meant Beast Man from fucking X-Men. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. I was trying to put in like fucking pedicure. I don't know how fucking pedophilia fucking come up on my phone. Fucking hell. Search engine's going mad. Fucking autocorrect. Fucking stupid. I swear to God it wasn't me looking it up.
Just having titles for videos popping in my head. Greg Duchette, Lee Priest, paedophile to pedicure.
I know. You can just figure it come up, because then someone might get your phone and they can I just search something, and they're going to look up just say pedestrian crossing, and as soon as they put in PED, what you've searched before comes up, pedophile. So clear your search history, people. You don't know what might pop up.
That should be part of your protocol. After the end of every wank, just clear history.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you never know what could come up on people's phones. It's like, oh, well, you're looking at that
text
now.
messaging as well now, isn't it? Your text messages, the predictive text, turns words to the words that you use the most. Yeah. So when you accidentally press send and it's changed all your words, you're like, fuck, there's no going back now.
Have you ever done it where you just push that one button and the words just come up by themselves?
Yeah,
and you just see what sentence you get? I think the funniest ones I ever do is sometimes if I'm driving and I just use that speak text. So I'm talking as I'm driving, and then I don't really look to see what it says, and I go send, and then I look across, and I'm like, what the fuck? And someone writes me back, what the hell does that mean? I'm like, oh. It picks up words or just comes out with words. I'm like, I can't even understand that myself. Or I'll be abusing someone sometimes, and it'd be like the last message, but then their message might be close to my mum's, and I hit my mum and send it to her. She's like, what's that mean? I'm like, oh, wrong person. Because once you hit send and you're like, oh shit, how do I get that back? Phones. It's like, that's what they're saying in lockdown. If you think you're in a good relationship and you're trustworthy, swap phones with your partner and give them your passwords. Yeah, see how trustworthy things are. Oh, well, maybe. Hold on, let me just clear it all first.
We should, all these stupid fucking challenges going around. People get bored on lockdown. We should make that as a challenge. 24 hours, swap phones with your partner. That's the challenge. See how many relationships last after fucking one day.
I'm sure with this lockdown now, how many breakups are probably going on, because, as it is, you can be in love with someone and think you're in love with someone because in the morning you see them before they go to work. You got the whole day away from at night time. Oh, yeah, how you going? But this whole lockdown where you're stuck in the same place, it's probably like, oh my God, I thought I loved you, but oh, fucking hell. Well, even here in Australia, they've actually had on the news, domestic violence has skyrocketed during this whole lockdown period and stuff. And of course, it's the men. Women never fucking abuse men at all. It's always the men hitting the women. It's like, yeah, okay, it's just that men don't report it, but it happens both ways. Yes, it is probably higher with men abusing women, but it does go both ways. But as soon as you say that, no, just the men, I'm like, yeah, okay, we're the evil ones. I'm surprised Aaron's still going.
Sorry?
Aaron's still looking happy, so I'm surprised he's lasted as long as he did.
Well, I got no comments on that.
Aaron, you've made it. You made it through lockdown. You can do anything.
I seen him doing a video the other day, and Jennifer's holding the camera, and she's just getting pissed off. She's just like, my arm's aching. Can you just hurry up? I can't wait for this fucking lockdown to finish. I'm gone. This is not good. I was just like trying to style it out. Yeah, so anyway, this supplement I'm bringing out. Hurry up, I'm fucking leaving.
I saw him the other day in the car. She was holding the camera. She's like, "Can't we use the thing to hold this? My arm's hurting." And I was like, "We just hold the camera." Why doesn't Aaron just get one of those things you stick on the window and just put it on the thing and just?
Yeah, make his life a lot easier.
It's funny, but he's outside now, so it's good. I love watching his videos too. It's like if I do a video, Aaron does a video. Lately, the one where he had the dog and that, and I'm thinking, I wrote him a message saying, "Oh, I would have loved someone to come home in your apartment building when you're down there with the fucking gun and the dog, and Aaron's going around the fucking car." Imagine a fucking old lady coming home with the groceries and he's fucking Aaron with his gun coming around.
Combat rolls with a big fucking machine gun.
But then you get all the experts. Aaron, you're not practicing trigger safety there, or you're not. It's like, oh my God, everyone's fucking Navy SEAL, fucking SWAT commando, fucking replying. And to this day, this is what I told Generation Iron years ago, or last year or so, maybe longer. The next documentary has to be about fucking internet trolls. I want to get into their mind because it's like you hate someone that much. All you do is bag them. You hate the sport. You hate this, but yet you watch all their videos. You fucking take time to write a fucking book sometimes about them. I'm thinking, I don't like golf. I don't like tennis. I don't go on there and fucking follow Nadal and go, "You're a fucking cocksucker, Nadal. Your fucking backhand fucking sucks. You couldn't hit a fucking ball." It's like, who has the time to fucking follow a sport they hate and then sit there and comment about it? And I'm like, if you don't like bodybuilding, it's like, and you've been with us, Dean, at those expos. We've never once had someone come up to our face and fucking abuse us or say shit to us in person. We've even said, "Listen, we're going to be at this place, Body Power, from Thursday to Sunday. We're going to be there from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you have a problem, fucking come on down." No one shows up. But the months beforehand, "Oh, we're coming down. We're going to come down and fucking beat your ass." I'm like, well, come down then. It's like 50-50. You might win, I might win. If you knock me out, we'll get a video of it. If it makes you feel good, it's like, go for it. But I'm giving you the opportunity. To come on down. I used to tell people, you better fucking kill me because I'll get up, and if I get up, I'll fucking kill you, and then I'll kill you. But before you die, I'll get your fucking missus and your dog and your kid and rape them in front of you, then shove her fucking head up your missus's vagina. Then I'll take your child's head, cut your missus open, shove a fucking head in her stomach, and let you watch it while I'm fucking you in the ass. That's just sometimes how my mind thinks. I'll let you know. But yeah, it's like,
that's not worrying in the slightest, Lee. They're normal thoughts.
Isn't that how normal people think? Thank you,
yeah,
Dean. I thought I was by myself there for a minute. And I'm not the only one.
It's completely normal. You can do these actions in life.
Yeah, as I say, if that's wrong, then I don't want to be right because
you're a wolf. Remember, Lee, you're a wolf.
Exactly, Navajo Indian wolf. That's my spirit. The wolf comes out of me. Yeah, but it's like, I just say shit like that because I'm just tell people I don't care going to jail. I don't care. Do me. Some guy the other day's like, "I'll knock your fucking teeth out." I'm like, well, good. I need some new ones, so knock them out. I like a nice and new set of fucking veneers. Come knock them out. It'd be cheaper than going to the dentist. Yeah, but it's like I just don't get that whole internet troll vibe where they just like, why? Like,
we need to do a part 2, Lee. A whole podcast just on trolls.
Yeah. Like, and the thing is too, just scroll by. If you see something Aaron writes or Dean likes or I write and you don't like it, go, dickheads, keep scrolling. Don't think you got to fucking. I said the other day, it's like going through town somewhere and you see a fucking adder, guitar lessons, blah blah blah. Here's the number, tear the number off, you get home. Fuck. I hate fucking guitar lessons. Guitar lessons suck. Guitar should be fucking banned. You don't do shit like that, do you? You don't call people up if you don't like something. So it's just like, just scroll by. You don't need to leave your fucking opinion or comment. Just keep going. Okay, you don't like it, go by. And I've had people that write so much shit. I mean, it'll be like this long where you got to hit the more button. I'm thinking,
read more.
You took all this time out of your day to fucking write all this.
Like your message trouble, read more. You're like, I'm fucked.
I had one. It sent to me on the New Year's Eve at 3:00 in the morning, and it went on for about 5 pages of just pure abuse. And even at the end of it, they sent me pictures of a toilet full of shit and said, "That's what I am." Like, who has that time on New Year's fucking Eve? It was an amazing read. I was proud of that one.
Well, that's what I mean. I said, who has that? I want to know what gets into their mind where they think this is what they got to do. Imagine, I would love it if it was like, say, to join Facebook, Instagram, and all this, you actually had to show your real ID, passport, picture, or license with your photo and address. And just say someone did send you that abuse, you could go, okay, now I'm just going to write to Facebook, and Facebook sends you their fucking driver's license. Okay, that's where they live. Thank you. It'd be like, I bet if that was the case, no one would fucking, do that shit, because every time, I'm sure the same with you, Dean, the ones that abuse you, their accounts on fucking private, they have no fucking profile picture. It's like, it's just...
It's a picture of you.
You just go take a piss there while we're chatting, it's all right.
I need to plug me MacBook in.
Sure, yeah. You stand in the toilet, we can hear you.
Dean just sent me a link to Pornhub.
Oh, those pop-ups, how'd that pop up? I don't know. No, I just don't. That whole, and it's the thing, just like when I do the RX show, because I read through the comments at the end sometimes. I'll wait about a week and then I just go through the comments, and I can guarantee every week the same one abusing me. You fucking suck. You got this little fucking troll on again, but that's the same guy. I'm thinking every week you fucking watch this show and then you fucking write these stupid fucking. Why watch it? If I don't like something, I don't watch it again. It's like there's a new Netflix series and I get 10 minutes into it, I fucking hate it. I don't go back every week and watch the same fucking 10 minutes and tell myself I fucking hate it again. It's like, just fucking move on.
I get the same people commenting on videos. You get the nice people who follow you and everything, but you get the same arseholes. And I'll leave them on because, like you probably see yourself and Dean does, sometimes your own followers and your own fans will just tear them apart on their own. I just like watching them rinse them out.
I normally do that. If they write something bad to me, I'll just make one comment back to them, and then I just let it go with the other people. Then there's this, I'll come back, it'll be 50 comments. They're just fighting back and forth. And it's just like...
Feed them to the dogs, isn't it? Just let rip. What do you think of this guy, fans? And they just fucking rip into him.
And especially too when they're like, you fucking bodybuilders are this and that. I said half of them are on private or don't have a picture, but then the ones that do have pictures, they're like, you think you're big, you fucking bodybuilder, you fucking fag bodybuilders. You click on their profile, every picture of them, me doing a fucking side chest. I'm thinking, you hate bodybuilders, but look at you, you fucking stage 4 cancer cunt. You look like you're fucking dying. I'm not sure if you got fucking AIDS or cancer, but you're fucking posing. What's going through your fucking mind? You're abusing me, and you're looking like that posing. Fucking grow up. Why don't you just, if I talk about anything, politics, religion, why don't you just coronavirus, why don't you just shut the fuck up, stick to what you're good at? So I look at their picture and I'm like, well, why don't you just get the fuck out of the gym and stick to what you're good at? Because training ain't fucking it. Because look at you. You're wasting your fucking time. You're wasting your fucking money. You must be just going to the gym for a perv or something, because it ain't fucking nothing else.
I had one, he was telling me, you'll be dead before you're 35. I said, well, I'm 39 next week. He said, I'll take steroids. I'm going to have kidney failure, heart attack, all these fucking things he reeled off. It's like, I get regular blood checks. I'm more than fucking healthy. I looked at his profile picture. He's got a faggy one under the pot of beer in the other. He's a skinny guy, pot belly.
All right. Well, I tell the story that when I was getting ready for the universe in 2013, I'd go walking early in the morning around Newcastle. And, one Saturday morning, I get up at 5 a.m, we're walking down, and there's this guy. He must have been left over from the night before, fucking still drunk. Same thing, cigarette in his hand. He's got a fucking bottle of whatever. I'm just walking, doing my car. I walk past him. Steroids are bad for you. What the fuck? You're fucking smoking. You're still fucking drunk from the night before. Yes, I might take a little bit of steroids, but I'm eating healthy. I'm training. I'm trying to keep in shape. And here's this guy fucking abusing me, telling me steroids are bad while he's fucking smoking as I go walking by. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I got one better than that. I was close to a competition. You know how people are in the UK. They just fucking love slating people and putting them down. I will never go outside in a vest top or anything because you get slated. But this one particular year, it's a really hot day. Just finished training. I'm about 2-3 weeks out from a competition. Got veins hanging down. I got a pump. I'm thinking, I'll actually look okay for once. Do my cardio afterwards around there's a lake by me.
Yeah.
Everyone's staring at me. I start getting paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to the halfway point, and there's these two big fat girls. They couldn't be more than like early 20s, but touching fucking the same weight in stone as what they are in age. They must have been 20 stone plus. And I sat there with like just McDonald's and shit, swigging some cider or something. And as I got past, they were just staring at me. And I got close enough so I could hear. The one just went, ugh, why would you want to look like that? And I bit my tongue because I was going to say, why the fuck would you want to look like that, you fucking fat, disgusting whale? Is it okay? Why is it okay for, like, when you look good, you're in shape or you're muscular, for people to abuse you and they're, oh, it's okay? If I said that, you fat, disgusting
fat shaming.
I would be the devil.
I find skinny people or overweight people are more judgmental of people in shape than, because if I'm in shape, I don't care. Like if someone's fat, if they're happy, I don't care. You might be healthy, you might not. I don't care what anyone looks like. If you're happy, you're happy. I don't go, like I said, you in shape, me in shape. We could be the most two judgmental people, walk around going, hey, you're fucking skinny, you're fucking fat, you just look like shit. Look at us, we're fucking muscular, we look like fucking gods, you're fucking pathetic. But you don't. I'm just happy with myself. But there must be the same to women. They're almost the exact same story happened to me, because I hate when I train. I wear a tank top if I was doing photo shoots or videos. Otherwise, t-shirt or I'm covered up. I never like being looked at in public, always covered up. If I went to a beach, I'd have to go far away. So there's one time in Venice, almost same story. I went down to Playa del Rey, really empty. Same thing, just a week out before a show, been laying in the sun, the veins are out. And normally walking back to the car, I put a shirt on. I figured, you know what, it's a fucking nice day. I'm going to walk back to the car with my shirt off. As I'm getting to the car, same thing. These two fucking morbidly fat, obese women sitting on a bench. I just go walking by, same thing here. That's fucking disgusting. I'm like, but unlike you, I walked back and I just stood there and looked at them and said, you two are ones to fucking talk. Look at your fucking selves. And then I fucking walked off. I just couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, you know what? Here I'm just minding my own business. I saw them. I just thought, okay, they're overweight, but that was it. I didn't think, anything more of it. I wouldn't be like walking past going, fuck, you're disgusting. As I walked past, that's disgusting. So that's when I turned around and walked back and said, you two are ones to fucking talk.
How many steps did you take before you turned around? How much did it go over in your head and you eat yourself up?
About five. I'm like, fuck it, don't let it go, Lee. Don't let it go. At times, I used to laugh when I used to go to shopping centres. This was the best thing. If I went with my grandmother and stuff, this was when I was still young and didn't use steroids. But because I was muscular, I'd have like a shirt on. You could tell I trained. So I'd sometimes be walking ahead of them. And then I'd just walking ahead, I hear this, rah, rah, rah. I'm like, what the fuck? I turn around, there's my grandmother. Because I would walk past somebody, they've obviously turned around and gone, steroids. And here's my grandmother. He does not take steroids. He trains hard. You don't know what he goes through. And blah, blah. My grandmother was abusing people because she's walking behind me. She's hearing all the comments from behind as I'm walking off. I remember Sean Davies from England. This was a funny one. When he came to visit me, he stayed with me for like 2 weeks. We went to like Six Flags Magic Mountain. And we're just walking around. Sean, he can lose his temper pretty quickly. That big fucking bald head. We're walking around these
big British bulldog tattooed in
there. Little Mexican kids, like little gang. We walk past them, steroids and that. We keep walking, and Sean's like, "Did he say what I think he said?" I said, "Yeah, don't worry about it." Fuck that. He fucking turns around and goes back. He grabs the kid. He's in America, by the way. He doesn't get arrested. What the fuck? He gets that voice going. What the fuck did you just fucking say? This kid's like, nothing, sir.
Roid rage.
Yeah. But this little kid now, this little gangbanger. Nothing, sir. And his mates are just standing there. Nothing. So I think that kid's never used the word sir in his life. Right. If you fucking say that one more fucking time. Oh my God. He was like, it was funny. It's like, oh. But yeah, just like this little snarled remarks sort of time. But yeah, I'd see it too with women. You see a woman in shape and she'll walk past other women and women look at them like, giving the up and down. I'm like, well, why can't you just fucking keep to yourself, whatever? It's like, don't judge. But women are the worst. Like they always talk about men judging women. Yeah. Women are the worst for judging women. If a woman does something, oh, look at her, she's doing that or doing that. Or how many times you see things on TV, even with a baby. Yeah,
if I see you walk past in a vest top, like getting ready for Olympia, I'm going to say, I want to know what that guy's doing. I'm going to come and ask you politely, can you share some information?
Well, that's what it used to be like. I remember back in the early days, you would see the biggest guy in the gym, you'd watch how he trains, you might pump him for information. Now, I remember even a couple of years ago, I go to a different gym. There might be a group of regulars there. I go walk in there, man, Lee Priest, fucking steroids, this. And I'm thinking, why has it become so bitchy? It's like, what, you're going to the gym, you want to either be a bodybuilder or improve yourself. So why are you hating me for being where you want to get to? It's like, here I am there. That's what you want to get to, but you're hating me because I look what you want to get to. It's like, I don't get that. Whereas before, it used to be more comradeship, people get along. But now, I guess with the internet, everyone's just so bitchy and fucking putting people down. He's only looking that way because of this, and he does this. I remember someone came back from England once to American Gold's gym. I know what Dorian Yates is taking. I'm like, really? How do you know that? He goes, well, my mate just come back from England and he went through Dorian Yates's garbage and found his fucking cycle. I'm like, and you believe that? Yeah, my mate wouldn't lie to me. He's got his cycle. He found it in his bin. I'm like, oh, fuck me dead. I'm like, just really. It's like I said, I love the sport. I love the training and stuff. And the internet's a good thing. But the whole, I don't know, it's not like it used to be. It's like, as long as you just still enjoy it and just do it for your own. I've always did it for me. I've never done it to be looked at. That's why I hate when people go, well, you must have got into this sport because you're picked on because you're a midget and this and that. And it's like, no, I just wanted to look like He-Man. That's why I got into it. Before He-Man, I used to do things like push-ups and try and lift shit because I used to love the $6 Million Man, and he used to fucking lift shit up and jump off stuff. And so I always liked strength stuff. My grandfather used to train, so it wasn't because I was picked on that I got to get muscle to, get this muscle armor on me to protect my vulnerable heart from being upset by people. I go fuck off. Yeah, I don't get it. It's like, maybe that's what some people do it for or whatever, but like I said, if I hear one more, I've always put out a challenge to people. If you're going to abuse me, give me something new. The midget, the troll, the dwarf, the tattoo on the face, Tyson wannabe, the fucking, like, come up with something original, please. After all these years, it's like, it's not happened yet. So,
People want a new one. Call him Dick Strangler with your shoelaces.
Hey, Nike. Yeah, but it's like even with Aaron, when you read the comments with Aaron, I go through his sometimes. I'm like, really, people? Aaron puts up a new video and he gets the same thing. You fucking this, fucking that. And then it's even like when he's selling, how can you be selling stuff at a time like this with the coronavirus? Yeah, it's like, really? Like every business should just shut down and not make any money anymore because of the coronavirus. And it's
like, one of the day, he's put a £5 off every product. Here's an offer. £5 off every product. Mm-hmm. Somebody, is that all you're tight cunt? Why don't you give some money to the NHS? Why don't you do this? So he put up a list like how he's fucking supplied the police force with the hand sanitizer. Yeah. He's done quite a few things and put a lot of fucking money into different events, charity events, stuff like that. But he don't go around announcing it and talking about it every day. And that's his thing. That's what makes him feel good. He's giving you fucking £5 off a product and he's getting abused for it.
And I saw the one that even was like, why don't you sell your Lamborghini and donate the money to the fucking thing? It's like, why are you telling me this? Why don't you go to fucking some movie star, Daniel Craig, or these people that have fucking homes all over the world? Why don't you sell one of your mansions and give the fucking money to the NHS and shit? But it's true what Aaron said. I pay all my taxes. I pay the VAT. I pay this and that. He goes, I'm paying hundreds of thousands of dollars. That money should be going to the fucking NHS or whatever it is over there. It's like, maybe you should talk to the government where they're distributing the money instead of upping their wages and wasting the money. They should be using that money what it's meant to be fucking used for. Then they wouldn't have a fucking problem.
What are these people giving that are moaning about him because he's worked his ass off to make a lot of money?
No, they never do anything.
They want to sell his assets so